He'll say, "Look, they fighting bums and keep them away from the fights they want anyway." Like Shakur Stevenson is on fucking Top Rank. Why can't he get Valdez? Oh, right, because that's not how it fucking works. Like they talk all this good shit, and then they had no problem letting Lomachenko go to the zone to fight Campbell, but for Haney, oh, it's a problem. You signed up with the wrong promoter. I'm like, the promoter was never the issue. Like you said, Alan, that's some bullshit Tim Bradley made up one day. He just decided to say some stupid shit. So I can't stand when they say that. Not to mention all the Bud fans currently that are talking a lot. When Bob Arum was breaking off Bud, all that motherfucking disrespect, y'all were awful quiet. Hmm? Hmm?
Yep, they didn't have anything to say, man. You
No
know,
smoke for Arum. Not a lick.
and then that's my problem. These dudes really don't. They really aren't Bud fans. Like a lot of these dudes are fans. They're not even. They hate Earl Spence. They hate Al Heyman. Because if they were Bud fans, they would support Bud. They would buy Bud's fights. I've watched Bud's fights. I bought the pay per view with Sean Porter. Shit cost me like $90. How many of these niggas that be hating and sucking Bud off for his quote unquote skill set and this and that? How many of y'all bought the pay per view? When Bud is talking about Canelo, these fucking dick sucking writers that was sucking Bud dick one day were saying, well, if you look at Bud's career, Bud hasn't fought these black fighters either, and this and that,
Yup.
and da 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 da. So it's just like, man, these niggas are so disingenuous. And when this fight happens, it's gonna be a great fight for however long it lasts. But I'm rocking with Spence. You rock with Bud, that's cool. But a lot of these dudes,
Oh my god, man. Fuck this dude.
man, get this dude, get this William,
Yeah, get this motherfucker out of
out
here.
of here.
Coming to
Get this
I'm
nigga
coming
the
to your
fuck out of
page to
here.
say fuck you, Art Man, in your Negro list.
Meanwhile,
For you, pussy.
ESPN got Tyson Fury in the top 8, and you talking about our man shit suck. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Get this
Got
dude the
Tyson
fuck out of here,
Fury
man.
on the pound for pound list for being one of the heaviest heavyweights. It was like the heaviest heavyweight in boxing, and for accomplishing damn near nothing. He beat 2 people his whole fucking career like Triple G, and one of them y'all said wasn't even good. Exactly. Got to draw the
How the
first
fuck?
fucking time.
How the fuck you let a man who started boxing at 21 fucking knock you out, damn near both fights twice? I say I don't give a fuck, dude. Wilder knocked Fury out in that first fight, and then that third fight,
And that third fight.
he knocked him out again, and they let that shit go once again.
Yeah, and not to mention,
Yeah,
let's
but
keep it real. Dude's a lifetime fucking doper. That's all. His whole career has been doping. And like I said, he been cheating before Wilder was even in the fucking picture. He been cheating since before Klitschko. He was cheating on the level
facts.
motherfuckers. Shit, and people forget he got popped for the Hammer fight. He just didn't get popped till after Klitschko. So he probably fought Hammer
Hold up,
Derby,
D. Hold
and
up,
he
D.
fought Klitschko
Hold up,
Derby.
D. Hey, William. Do you want? Hey, William, you want to get on the panel and talk all this shit, man? Or are you just gonna keep running your typing your fingers in the comments like a little bitch? You want to get on
Nah,
the
he
panel
just
and
gonna keep
speak?
on hating from the outside. I love it
Exactly.
though. Keep on
He
hating.
probably 12. He probably 12 years old. I don't want his ass in here.
Right. Talking about some you guys probably listen to Dante.
Yeah,
What you
I
worry
don't
about
need
Dante for? This is our man channel. What you
Exactly.
talking about?
fucking verbal abuse, child abuse
Let-
charges. I ain't trying to hear all that.
Let me lump y'all in with another black channel just because you guys are black. But you guys are
Yeah.
the racist ones.
Do you listen to Leho's boxing? You fuck. Or what about Finno boxing where they just put that lady with the big tits out like she knows something? I, well, I never watched her. I just see her picture all the time with Finno boxing under it, and I assume it's a channel. But she can't. Well, she's just a reporter. She's kind of like Joy Michelle Phelps or whatever. She just walks around looking good and getting shit on. and getting shit on tape. So she don't have to know boxing. She's just supposed to look good and get some eyes on the shit. I mean, she's fine, so
Hey, that shit was
I like
funny
her
as
like
hell.
that. But
They said Michelle was crying when Fury told her that he ain't fighting AJ.
she was crying.
Yeah, like, cause you know that interview they did. They said that interview left her crying because she was looking forward to seeing fucking AJ versus Fury, but she
The only person in the
interviewed
world
Fury
looking forward
and
to see that
listened
shit.
to all the shit he said, and I know they deleted a whole bunch of clips of bullshit he said, but out of all the shit he said, it pissed her off because she's like, "Yo, what the fuck? The whole time I thought you guys were fighting."
Yeah, even Americans back Tyson Fury harder than the UK does, because in the UK nobody gave a fuck about Fury versus AJ until they said the shit might actually happen. Then they were like, "Oh, that would actually be cool," but wouldn't nobody think about that shit?
No, the only reason they gave a fuck about it was because they would block Wilder and Fury 3. And now, Fury and Wright is supposed to be happening. Ain't nobody talking about that shit. Don't nobody give a fuck about Tyson Fury. It's just like Lefty said. Don't nobody give a fuck about Tyson Fury unless he fighting Deontay Wilder. So
Exactly.
why are we
Literally.
talking about this fat? Wait, hold up. Why are we talking about that fat cheating motherfucker, man? Let's get back on topic. Fuck Tyson Fury, man.
Cano Loco Sports is actually good, Polo. I like Cano Loco Sports. Well, I knew he wasn't. I knew he wasn't fighting White. That's for sure. Well, because people like, oh, White will just go and get smashed. I'm like, no, White's actually a pretty dangerous fight. If Wilder allegedly had no boxing skills and he did all that to Fury, White is definitely a dangerous fucking fight. I wouldn't call him complete, but he's as far as boxing, he's definitely shown the ability to be able to execute. But he's most dangerous because he lets his hands go on the inside. Sometimes Wilder will try to like be more defensively responsible, pivot, shell up, or move. Dillian White will just start fucking swinging for the fences. He might fuck around and accidentally knock you out, like he did like he did Chisora in their second fight with that fucking left hook, just randomly just wow, 11th round ended the whole shit. I was like, ooh, damn.
Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
It'd be funny as fuck too if Fury vacates and his first vacant title attempt is fighting Wilder. That's fucked up. All you had to do was fight Wilder, nigga, and now you got to see Deontay Wilder. You dumbass. Ah. Oh shit, he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where he will, but my thing is, I feel like he's still under contract with Top Rank and ESPN, so he just can't just skate out of boxing like he want to.
We want undisputed. Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
they want undisputed until it's time for fucking Haney to get a shot at George Kambosos.
Cambusi.
Oh yeah, George Kambosos.
That shit,
I told y'all Cambusi was gonna take off, man. I told y'all yesterday.
that shit was crazy as fuck. That shit was crazy as fuck. How yesterday Undisputed at 168 was so important, but then when it came to 135, that don't matter. I don't care about those fights.
Shit.
I'm like, what the fuck?
They was crying because Earl was fighting Ugas for that third title. But
Literally.
Undisputed matters, right?
Yeah, and then
Canelo can fight fucking Yildirim, fucking Sanders and Smith, and that's a great run. But Earl Spence is he's gonna have potentially one of the greatest ones at welterweight.
yeah, it's just crazy. They were just talking about you can't switch up the standards for different fighters, and it's like here we go again. Here we
And
go
they're doing
again.
that exact thing, and they're doing that exact thing. And it's crazy because, like I said in my tweet, they only want undisputed when it's certain fighters. When they can hold a certain fighter back from undisputed, then that's when they don't care. Like, what the fuck is Loma gonna bring to Kambosos? That's not even his Cambusi. That's not even his highest career payday. That's what Devin You get to fight in Australia, like I said, and a chance at real undisputed. This motherfucker is selling wolf tickets like, oh yeah, me and Devin, we're gonna fight. You know, we can get 80,000 people in Australia. You know, he just has to put on a great performance. And now look at him. Bro, this is why I fuck with Earl Spence so much, is because he's a man of his word. He does what he says he's gonna do. He's doing that thing, but he's getting shit on for it. He's getting hate for it. He told these motherfuckers what the plan was before Bud even came to the division. He said, and then the funny thing is that did Canelo not fight all the fighters on the zone before going to Al Heyman and PBC?
Yup.
Exactly. Man, motherfuckers was like, well, what does Canelo have to do with it? He got to do something with it because I said so, motherfucker.
Well, we're talking about professional boxing. We're talking about undisputed. It's funny because he's the face of boxing until you start talking about the nigga. Then we supposed to be talking about everybody else, and it just fucking gets me because like Jermell Charlo is accused of ducking Castano, and them niggas done fought. They were getting ready to fight twice, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn. So Jermell Charlo has been fighting back-to-back title holders. Isn't he entitled some rest? Huh? Shouldn't he take a break and get some soft touches? Nah, that motherfucker fought a dude, had a tough ass fight, got a draw, and getting ready to run it back again. And people accused him of being a duck. I was like, what? Castano's team was
fucking like Maul disappoint me. He disappointed me with some of his comments, but give that man his fucking respect, you know. And that was one of the things that pissed me off because this dude was backing people that don't give him no respect. It's like, man, stop being. Are you fucking dumb? Like the dudes that support you, you don't shit on the dudes that support you. That's another thing. Earl Spence never does that. You know, he don't shit on the people that supports him. He bigs up the people that supports him.
right.
That's why I respect him.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me because I'm like, not only did Jermell Charlo not take any rest or a tune-up to fight Castano, he fought the nigga, got a draw, and then he's running it back again. And then they're trying to say he's like, I'm like, Castano's team was the one talking about potentially facing Tim Tszyu in the meantime, in between time, and then he's doing it again. People are like, oh well, you know, he didn't want to. He's a duck. I'm like, well, no, he knows because the standards aren't the same. He's going right back into undisputed. I guarantee if he had tried to fight anybody that wasn't Castano, people are like, clearly Charlo's scared.
That's exactly what they would have said.
Yeah, so it's like what are we doing here? The path to undisputed is the same. We all can't be in a situation I think Bud fought two people collectively for undisputed. Like we all just can't run into the situation where it's all sweet or somebody already have the belts and we can just get it in one fight. Because that's what Terrence Crawford about to do. He about to run into a situation where he just been chilling, doing whatever, fighting green beans. Okay, cool. And then he about to run into Errol and get an automatic shot at undisputed in one fucking fight. Due to the result
of doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and then it's funny. Somebody tried to articulate that Ugas was doing the heavy lifting, and I'm like, the only reason he got that opportunity is because Spence got hurt. So it's like, what are we talking about?
What's good, Checkmate? What's good, Polo? What's good?
What's up, bro?
What's good, fellas?
Yeah, I like what you said about that. You know, he's doing what he said he's gonna do. Like you use that, and that's facts. He is trying to get those belts. I like that, bro.
Hey, Polo, did you see the? I actually sent you the link.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
And let me just say this, you know.
So
let me just say this. I was just gonna say, you know, why. And this is why I think Earl Spence gets a lot of hate. I believe that Earl Spence gets a lot of hate, not only because he's great, but because let's be real, he's a black man, a black fighter. You know, he's with Al Heyman. A lot of Al Heyman's fighters gets hate just for being with Al Heyman.
Isn't he Jamaican too? Isn't he Jamaican too? Like one of
his dad's Jamaican, yeah. And you saw it when Bud was with Top Rank, he didn't get a lot of hate. You know, Bud wasn't getting a lot of hate from these mainstream medias and a lot of these dudes that followed, you know, a lot of these racist channels. They were backing them. You know, they giving him all this love, and he's pound for pound this and pound for pound hands and pound for pound feet, and he can be Jesus and Muhammad with his hands tied behind his back. He can do this, he can do that. Everybody's scared of Bud. This and that.
He can be Vegeta.
Exactly. And this is no knock to Bud, but let's be real. That's one thing that I was saying, and that I'm seeing right now is that if Bud were to go with Al Heyman, I guarantee you a lot of those dudes would flip. They would shit on him for it. You know,
Think
so
so? That's true. It's weird because ain't nobody telling Bud to go to the PBC and try to get the fight done. They're just saying Arrow needs to make the fight happen, and it's like that's what he's trying to do. Well, nah, he needs to make the fight. I'm like, Arrow's a fucking professional fighter, bro. I mean, he has man down promotions, but they're not gonna fight under man down promotions. They're gonna fight on fucking Showtime, you retarded motherfucker. Like, what the fuck you?
Man,
what you
down
guys do?
promotion.
Yeah,
And-
like,
according to Boxing, be quiet, man. That's not what happened, and you know it. He said,
wait, what motherfucker say?
according to Boxing, it said, well, he told Bud to go get a belt, and Bud then he ran. No, the fuck he didn't. He said,
Yeah, he
"I'ma clear my
he
side of
told
the
Bud to
street."
get a belt, and then he said he's gonna get the belts on his side, and that's exactly what's happening. I don't understand what's false about that. He said you get a belt, I'm gonna get 3 belts, and then we're gonna meet. That's exactly what's happening. I'm lost as to like where the lie is.
Yo, but
Go ahead, Cora.
Oh shit! Exposed. Wait,
he did pull up the link, bro. You gotta show proof. Pull up the link.
Yo,
Hey,
what's
why
good
is
with
she-
y'all?
I don't deny it, bro.
What's-
Pull up.
what's up?
Yeah.
What's good, T?
And don't,
Chilling,
bro,
man.
don't pull up Kano
Chilling.
Sports, man. It better not be Kano Sports.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Because he fucking sucks, bro.
An ally has been slain.
I like Chano Loco.
Nah, I don't
Kano's
like
good
Kano
people.
Loco, bro. Nah, I mean, I did, but nah. Fuck this channel, bro.
Shut down.
How am I biased?
Oh, shit.
Hey.
The fact that I'm gonna use that because you don't like Canelo, and then it's
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
nah, bro, nah, he's not the bro. I can say the same with I can say the same with Puerto Ricans. Hey,
I ain't gonna lie
Hey,
to you. I
I-
have seen.
bro,
Yeah,
I'm low key.
I ain't gonna lie. I've seen people do that.
With Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga's gonna be the man to beat, bro.
Edward
Berlanga's
Berlanga
gonna
fucking
be-
sucks, y'all.
Yeah,
That's just
I've
straight
never
up.
heard
Hey,
Kano
hey,
Loco
hey,
say
nah.
Edgar Berlanga's gonna be the man to beat. When the fuck has he said that shit?
I never
No,
heard
no,
nobody
no,
say
no,
nothing
no,
about
no, no, bro.
What?
Edward Berlanga.
Listen. All right, man, I was
Except him
about
getting
to
his
tell
ass
you.
whooped.
Listen. This is some Puerto Rican man. Edgar Berlanga's gonna be the man to dethrone
We're not. We're
Canelo.
not gonna turn this into Mexico versus Puerto Rico, man.
I know
So let's
we
get
not
back
we
on
Yeah,
not
we
topic.
doing
can,
that.
bro.
So
But yeah,
I got the clip.
out of respect of our man, I could.
Yeah,
but
out of
respect, our
respect,
man, I'ma come
y'all
down.
keep it down. We not doing the Mexico versus Puerto Rico beef here on my channel,
Yeah,
man.
Shit, hey,
I didn't even
It's
know
all
they
good.
was
It's all
beefing
good,
until
but,
the Vargas fight.
I
I was
wanted
like,
y'all to
wait,
hear
y'all
this,
actually
though.
beef?
Hold on. I wanted
What
y'all
was
to
I
hear this
saying?
though.
Okay.
Now that we're on back, let's get back to the subject. gang.
Ray Leonard.
That's a fine assumption to make, JY. It's a good fight. That can happen to either party.
Bud Ben's by knockout. Who's been knocking out besides Sean Porter? Besides Sean Porter, who was even?
Hold on, y'all. 1 second, man. I got to play the clip so everybody can hear it for themselves because I got people in here like the dude according to boxing who saying things like Spence is nothing close to Sugar Ray Leonard, but here you have Sugar Ray Leonard himself talking.
Sugar Ray, in your opinion, who is the closest thing to Sugar Ray Leonard fighting right now?
Who was the closest thing? The fighter? What fighter is?
Right now. What fighter right now is the closest thing to Sugar Ray Leonard?
As far as style, as far as
Whatever you say, when you look at it, you look at that fight, you say, man, that guy's like the mini Sugar Ray Leonard.
Errol Spence is really an eye opener.
Mm.
Mm.
Wait, hold up, man. They can't be. You man, Jermaine Earl can't be a Sugar Ray, man. Little Earl, come on, one night Earl,
They
man. Earl can't be that,
they
man.
telling us that Sugar Ray Leonard is wrong for saying, and we like, okay, cool. And then they'll bring up things like, well, he did say Mikey Garcia would beat Errol, da. That's true. But what happened? Errol beat him, and now what do you hear him saying? Well, shit,
Right.
that guy's
He gave
just
him
like
his
me.
I watched that fight today.
Yeah, nigga
I
was
watched
wrong.
that fight
He had to
today.
eat his crow. He said all that shit. And Spence came in and whooped that ass, and he was like, you know what? Maybe I was fucking up.
You know what's crazy,
I
y'all?
watched that.
You know what's crazy, y'all?
What?
Like, the funny thing about it is, like, EJ beat Mikey a different way than everybody expected him to, because everybody thought he was just going to go in there, walk him down, knock him out on some triple G type shit.
And get tagged up in the process.
Exactly. But he went in there and he boxed his fucking ears off, and people don't know how to react to that because they're like, oh shit, we didn't know Earl can box. Well, some of us that actually know boxing, we knew that, but they made it seem like that he did something he did some new shit. But
the thing is, Teak, is this crazy because they love to prop up the Olympics, but Earl is a fucking Olympian.
I know.
Even the
They
Olympics,
make it seem like he wasn't though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
thought he beat Castano, to be real with y'all, but I mean,
Was because the Casanya fight in the Olympics?
yeah, because that's who he lost to in the Olympics was Brian Castano. But I thought he won that fight when I looked at it. Very good fighter.
I've always thought that Errol
fighting
Spence
Ugas is
Jr.
more meaningful than any Bud fight at welterweight.
Duh.
That's
Hey,
That's
you know,
a
we
real
got to
talk.
keep it 100. Bud is not the best welterweight in the world, bro.
No.
Errol Spence is.
Nope.
Errol Spence is, man. It's just plain and simple, dude. And
Bud
I
is
like
the best
Bud a lot.
light welterweight in the world.
But if you want to be considered the best welterweight in the world, you got to beat the man with 2 belts, soon to have 3.
He about to have 3.
Soon to have 3. So what are you saying, man? And speaking of beat and fighting or whatever, so I was watching Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hearns, and I said, dude, man, I'm not gonna lie, this reminds me a lot of what a Earl versus Bud Crawford fight could potentially be. The reason why I say that is because Tommy Hearns was the much taller fighter with the longer reach, and was a guy that's perceived as highly skilled, right?
Yep.
He went in there with Sugar Ray Leonard, who was skilled as well, his peer. And Sugar Ray Leonard, he timed him. And he broke him down with them body shots. And he timed him, rocked him. Next thing you know, that was on Bambi legs. And we all seen Bud Crawford on them Bambi legs before too. So when you go in there with a dog like Errol Spence Jr. and he times you and he puts it on you, I wouldn't be surprised if the fight looks just like that. A competitive fight,
I think,
but the much stronger fighter that's thinking wins.
Green Beans got on that ass.
I think it's gonna be like a.
Hold on,
Man,
let my dude Leak speak first.
Nah, it's me mission, bro.
Let me I'm gonna keep it real with y'all because I broke that fight down at least 100 times in my head, yo, and I've done all this studying with that fight. Bud's
What fight? The Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hearns?
No. Oh no, I'm talking about EJ versus Bud because I've always thought like before Bud got the 147, I thought it was a 50-50 fight at first. But the more I see Bud fight at 147, he don't have his legs. He don't have his as good defensively as he used to be, and he struggles with jabs. Who's the best jabber in boxing?
Errol Spence, or the best jabber in welterweight. Errol Spence, most definitely.
Best jab in boxing, and he's fundamentally sound. So he's not going to get caught by Bud when he switch hits. And honestly, I think if Bud switch hits to the left, to the southpaw, that's a disadvantage for him.
Of course, because how are you gonna fight the better southpaw? You can't
exactly.
And then not only that, Earl is a better inside fighter than Bud. Bud cannot fight on the inside. I saw that with Sean Porter, and I'm just like, man, I was licking my chops. Like I always thought, like you said, Earl was gonna beat this dude, but it's like it just added on to that because Bud don't like those roughhouse tactics. Every time Sean Porter would get on the inside, he would clinch. And if he tried to clinch Earl's just gonna muscle his way out. He
Where
just throw
Bud,
some body shots.
where Bud
Yo,
won the fight
but
to me. And I'm off for you. I'm off for you. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go
No,
ahead.
what I was saying is that where Bud start doing better against Sean Porter when he actually had distance.
Right. And it's funny too, because if he thinks Spence is hurt and he tries to go in for the knockout, which I know he's gonna try to do, that's where he's gonna fuck up the most.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to go on the inside, he's gonna try to get his uppercuts off, he's just gonna try to get his body shots off, and he's gonna wind up in a war with Spence, and that's where he's gonna make his mistake. Because you're giving Spence all the access to the body, to the chin, and it's gonna be a rough situation.
It's gonna be like, hold up,
yo,
Craig,
but one thing you gotta give Crawford is credit though. He did turn it up on Porter in the round 10 when he dropped him, and I don't think his dad would have stopped. I think Porter would have it could have gone even way worse than what it was already going to. But you gotta give Butkus credit for that. So he did.
Absolutely.
Porter did make him look bad, though. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Porter was up, bro. In my opinion, I thought
Porter was up.
I thought, I had Porter up as well.
I had Porter up.
Me personally,
I
I had it like, what was it, round 10, right? I had
Yeah.
I had it 5-4 Sean, but I didn't. Everybody I've ever talked to said that they thought Sean was up.
Bud Corner said that Sean was up. They were like, bro, he up. You need to turn this shit up and figure some shit out. It's funny because the same people that said Bud was winning are the same people that keep showing that clip of his own corner saying, hey, man, Sean Porter up, bro. You need to knock out to win.
Porter up.
Exactly.
His own corner said that. Bud was like, wait, he up? Oh, all right, bet. And he went in there and turned it up. But people don't understand that. People don't understand that EJ is not going to make himself susceptible to the rear uppercut because he knows one of Sean Porter's best punches. He's much more defensively responsible. He moves his head, and he doesn't rush in swinging wild hooks with his hands down. He doesn't do all of that. Now, one thing I think is I think EJ is definitely the best jabber at 147. I disagree with the boxing thing. I think Devin Haney is probably the best jabber in boxing, but that's just my personal opinion. But at 147, absolutely, with the jab situation. And I know that for the first few rounds, Crawford is going to be using his footwork a lot, but he's not going to be scoring any points like he was. Well, I mean, he's just going to be moving around the ring. Crawford has pretty solid
No.
footwork.
He got good footwork, but my thing he hasn't used it since he got to 147. Like,
And
He hasn't had to. He hasn't had to turn it up on none of his opponents.
He had to
as well. I'm
he
gonna
had
say,
to with Porter.
I'm gonna say this. The one
And
fight
Mean
that this will
Machine.
remind me of is Winky Wright versus Shane Mosley. That's how I think this fight is gonna go.
Oh, damn.
I remember that.
And shout out to Southern T, because Southern T pointed it out to me, and I watched it. I was like, yeah, I could see this, especially now, because one thing is that EJ's he's the bigger, stronger welterweight. Bud has problems with jabs. Kell Brook was beating Bud before the stoppage with his jab.
I know. That's what I was saying though, homie. Like, he was struggling majorly with Kell Brook's jab, majorly, and Brook's jab is nowhere near as good, crisp, or as consistent as EJ's.
Fucking Green Beans was on that ass. It was funny because
EJ mixes that jab up. He'll throw it to the head. He'll throw it to the body.
D-Hive, it's Mean Machine.
I call that nigga. No, that nigga was Green Beans until he fought Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Bro,
It was Virgil Ortiz Jr. And then all of a sudden he became Mean Machine.
Nah, bro, bro. Literally, when they were promoting the fight, they were like, "It's Mean Machine." Maybe he was Green Beans when he fought Ray Robinson, but when he fought
Green Beans.
And I'm glad you pointed that out.
I think I have a recorded clip of it.
He got his ass whooped by Ray Robinson too, by the way, y'all.
And I was gonna say,
Ray Robinson is like something. He tied with Josh Kelly. He tied with
He whooped both their asses.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say people were giving Crawford so much respect for Green Beans because he's the top 10. I'm like, bro, the guy that got a draw with Ray Robinson, man. I was like, bro.
No, but Mean Machine did knock out David Najanish. And also, Ray Robinson the one that fought Ugas?
Yeah, Ugas.
Yeah,
Ugas knocked
his ass out. Yeah.
Damn, yeah. Ooh, what if we see that version of Ugas? What if we see that version of Ugas against Spence?
Hey, it's possible.
Spence is not Ray Robinson.
Yeah, that's true too.
Shit. Hey, what I've seen, bro, because I follow Ugas, bro, he's motivated. He has nothing to lose, bro. Like, I don't know, man.
Of course not. He's the man that just retired Pacquiao. He's looking for another big payday, and he's looking to make history.
He beat the shit out of Pacquiao, and I predicted that was going to happen. Art man to tell you, because I was one of the few people who saying they was going to whoop Pacquiao. I was in a group. I was in a group and all that shit. Saying
But I
that
feel
shit.
like if it was the
Yeah,
Pacquiao
I remember that.
German, he would have beat Ugas. But I
And
think
you
if it
saw,
was
you saw what
2019
happened. You saw art. You saw everybody was on my fucking neck for saying that shit.
I had
But I think if it was
I had Pacquiao by robbery. I thought that Ugas was gonna win. They were gonna rob Ugas.
They
No, I
couldn't
mean,
rob him.
shit. But I mean, that would have been a bigger fight though. Like with Spence and Spence deserves it. That would have been a way bigger fight than Ugas.
But
to be
looking
honest.
at that fight, though, Pacquiao was lucky Earl wasn't in there. Earl would have.
No, he would have killed him, yo.
Yeah, he
It
would
would've been
have
ugly.
beat the brakes off Pacquiao.
No, I think
EJ would have
like I
beat the
said,
shit out
bro,
of
it was
Pacquiao.
bro. But I think the version of Pacquiao. Nah,
It would
I
have
think
looked
Pacquiao
like Mayweather
2009
versus Mugotti.
Oh God.
for-
Yeah,
Yo,
no, that's
but I
how
think-
bad I think it would have got.
Fucking Corrales versus Casamayor or some shit.
Ooh,
Nah, it would have been Warman or Marcus' testimony.
Oh, okay.
that shit
Either way.
would have got brutal.
Nah, yeah. For me, it probably wouldn't have
It
went
would've
past
got
round
ugly,
8.
man.
It wouldn't have went past round 8. That shit would have been
They
fucking
would've
over.
I
probably-
with.
think honestly, yo, I think it would have went 6.
Man.
I think it would have went 6.
Nah,
Damn, 4? Fuck.
Yeah.
But I think,
No,
Pacquiao-
Blu-ray was training him too.
yo, I
He
think
said,
the
he
12
said,
Yeah, Blu-ray
hold
was
on,
training him.
hold up, y'all. This man said that EJ hasn't rocked nobody in 4 years. Didn't he rock Sean Porter?
He knocked
He
Sean
got
Porter
knocked
down.
down. Yeah, he got knocked down.
He
And
rocked
he
Sean
hurt
Porter,
Danny
didn't
Garcia multiple times. He never
Man.
stopped Danny Garcia off a car accident. What are you talking about,
But that-
nigga?
that's
What are you
one of-
talking about?
I know who that is. That's one of them dudes that I was going at it with when I was talking about Pacquiao and Ugas, and he went. I told him to bet bread, and he didn't want to do it.
You talk about according to boxing?
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is
that
to
guy,
me
'cause
is
he be
that
on Facebook and he hating a
I know.
lot, dude.
He
He be
that's a
hating
great
a lot.
boxing
Like
dude.
he
I know who
got
that
look.
is.
Let me
I
tell
love,
you,
I
it
love
was so
whooping his
funny.
ass in debates.
It was so funny because he seen the screenshot of me saying that yes, Errol Spence the next Sugar Ray Leonard of this generation, and then he tries to clown me by posting in the group like, yeah, look at this bullshit, and then I dropped the link or dropped the video of Sugar Ray Leonard saying what he said, and then he got
Yeah, he's a
totally
clown.
quiet. Now
He's a clown.
he's here sitting here hating.
He's a clown.
it's funny to me
Ass
because
nigga.
a lot of the non-black channels that tokenize Bud, they're the same people that after the Green Beans performance, after Virgil Ortiz beat him, then the motherfuckers that was talking about, oh shit, Virgil Ortiz Jr. might be able to fuck with Bud. Oh, I think Bud ducking Virgil Ortiz. I'm like, oh wait. So now all of a sudden Bud is the best thing since sliced bread. Y'all just claimed he was ducking Virgil Ortiz Jr., but now Spence ducking Bud. Like, bro, like this fucking shit changes like every month.
That's why I don't listen to a lot of these channels. I only
I
stick with
don't.
my brothers.
Facts, Teak. I stick with my brothers and I chop it up with my brothers because a lot of these dudes is clowns, they suckers, they effeminate, and they be hating, and they wrong.
And now they're talking
Facts,
about
bro.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. might be able to take out Spence, and I'm like, man, so
Stop it,
everybody,
man. Stop
everybody whoops Spence ass, huh?
Stop it.
Everybody just
No,
can
the
run
thing
up
is
and whoop
that-
Spence ass.
Thing is, and everybody beats Earl until they get in the ring with Earl, and then Earl beats the shit out of him.
They said Mikey was gonna beat him.
They said Mikey was gonna beat him. They said Danny
Sean
was gonna
Porter
beat
was
him.
like, Danny might stop.
They said Mikey
Danny
was gonna
might stop
outbox
him.
EJ.
Yeah, they said they was like Danny's gonna KO Spence.
Yeah,
But then,
oh,
but
no.
then he watches them 12 rounds, and
And
now,
then
Yo,
and
you
now
guys-
he didn't knock him out.
The only
Like,
round, yo, what round did you actually give Mikey? I think his best round was
I didn't
the
give
first
Mikey a
round.
single round.
I think the first round was the only.
He didn't win
No, I
a
think
single
he
round
got
in my
I
opinion.
didn't
Nah,
give
he didn't
Mikey
get a single
30
round.
seconds of any round.
I didn't give Mikey or Danny any fucking rounds. Motherfucker tried to argue Danny won multiple rounds, and I'm like, well, he only outlanded Spence for one round, so which rounds did he get? Motherfucker gives me 4 rounds.
Spence took
and
that
no-
round off. He took that round off. You're talking about round 9. I know which one you're talking about. He
That
took
dude
round
is a
off.
clown.
Well, no. What I was gonna say was that they gave me 4 rounds that Danny won, and they didn't even include the one where he actually landed more punches than Spence. I'm like, y'all niggas just be talking, bro. You didn't even include the round where Danny actually outlanded Spence. You give me 4 rounds, and none of them are the ones where he actually outlanded him. All right, all right.
Yeah, even Sean Porter said that EJ took a couple of rounds off. He said that's the only rounds that he could have gave Danny because it was a great performance.
Yeah, he was working his ass to the body. He was like, "Ooh, this ass whooping tired me. I need some rest."
I
real
never
quick,
seen
huh?"
Danny face look like that before neither, and I've been watching Danny since he was in
But
the
not
amateurs.
least,
Neither has
Yeah, I
Angel.
never seen. I've never seen Danny Garcia.
Danny got
like,
beat down.
like that.
Neither has
The
Angel
closest
Garcia.
thing-
You see how he was yelling
Bro.
at him in the corner? He was like, "Come on, man, knock this pussy out, bro."
Yeah, he
Come
Trust
on.
me, I've been around both of them in person. Like Danny never got beat like that by nobody.
That was like his hardest fight. After that fight was like, damn, he got whooped. And then Mauricio Herrera, remember when he fought Puerto Rico? When he fought Mauricio Herrera?
Yeah. I know. I
Man,
remember
yeah,
that
a lot
fight.
of
I
people say
thought he
a lot of
lost that
people-
fight. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah,
And I like
he-
Danny.
he
But I thought he
lost
lost
that.
that fight.
No, he lost that fucking fight straight and clear.
He did.
That shit
He
was-
did.
I thought Danny was gonna cry after the Spence fight. You saw his face when they're announcing the winner. I was like, "Don't cry, nigga. Damn, you lost to Errol Spence. It's okay."
Beat the shit out of him. He beat him so bad, man. Off
But
the
nah,
car accident.
Danny and Mikey came to lay down. Remember, guys? They came to lay down. They
Look,
weren't even there to
Let me
fight.
tell you how
Who said
bad
that?
he whooped his ass.
You saw on Twitter.
Look, check this out, dude. Hold on. We had a fight party at my crib, right? And we're watching that fight. All of our people, we was turned up watching the fight, and then it became like the 5th round. No, then it got to the 5th round, I meant. And we're just like, man, this shit's kind of getting bad. It's kind of sad, actually. This is actually pretty sad. Like, he's kicking his ass. Like, that's what, dude, literally, my girl's like, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm about to, basically, she just went in the kitchen and started making the plate and shit. And I'm just like, damn, like, you know, I was at a point where it's like, dude, like, there's nothing he could do. There's no lucky punch. There's no nothing. It was just,
Earl saw
He's gonna get stopped
everything
in the
coming.
ninth
That's why
or
he saw
turned it
everything
up.
coming. That's why.
Shit's a wash, bro. It was just 12
Could've
rounds of
stopped
ass
him in the
whoop.
ninth.
There was no return traffic. It was just watching Danny get beat up. I was like, man,
I'm gonna be
that
real
shit-
with y'all. I think EJ showed him some respect. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
Yeah,
To,
facts.
like,
I think he showed him some mercy.
because sometimes, yeah, I think he showed him some respect because it was just it got ugly, like real quick. After that, I ain't gonna lie. After the 3rd round, that's when I was like, oh yeah, this is over. Because remember when he hit him with that overhand left, and he literally ran into me, basically backed up into the ropes. He stumbled into the ropes. Yeah,
I
that's
think-
when I was like, yeah, this is over.
Yo,
I think all that showing respect shit as far as EJ's career is done. I think everybody he fight from now to 154 or whatever getting broke the fuck off. Only person he might chill with is Jermell Charlo if they ever fight.
I don't think they ever gonna fight. I don't think they ever gonna fight.
Yeah,
But this is
bro, a good fight. To be honest, a good fight would be.
no. I'm gonna
Bro,
keep it real
good
with y'all. That won't be that much close because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all because this is from what I've heard because I know somebody that actually was there before when Charlo and Spence was sparring. Spence beat the dog shit out of Jamel.
damn.
No, I'm not playing.
Serious?
Like, y'all remember? No, I'm gonna give y'all an example. Y'all remember the Erickson Lubin before the Erickson Lubin fight and Charlo had a black eye?
Mhm.
Spence is the one who gave it to him.
is that right
Really?
around the time that Brian Custer came to the gym and they were sparring?
Yup.
So if they fought, do you got Arrow by stoppage if you wanted
I don't
to?
think I don't think he's gonna stop him, but I definitely think he's gonna beat the shit out of him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because remember, I actually think EJ gonna be better at 154.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
he's gonna
Well,
be,
You know
he's
what
gonna be
would be-
stronger at
he's
154
gonna
and
be far more
160.
powerful.
Hey, you know what would be a good fight? Castaño versus Spence at 154.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That would be a good-ass fight.
That'll be.
That'll be interesting.
No, you know what another
Yeah.
fight gonna be good, y'all? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, and this should be EJ first fight at 154. Aris Landy Lara.
Ooh, that would be a
Ooh.
good.
That would be a good ass fight.
That'd be interesting.
No,
Oh, but he's at middleweight, right?
Lara's at middleweight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
he
the
went to 160.
He's a WBA regular at middleweight. Yeah.
Oh, he went to 160.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
didn't
think
know that.
I think
apologize then.
Spence should fucking break off what's his name? Break off Joey Spencer real quick. Just to get him adjusted to
Nah,
154.
That'll do it, bro.
Joey too young for that.
Break
Joey
him
too young
off.
for that.
Man, what would you do?
Break. Yeah.
Joey too young for that.
Spence 154 career requires sacrifices. Joey Spencer, get your little payday and sit your pussy
J-Rock?
down. Yeah, there
J-Rock?
you go. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
J-Rock's
yeah.
chin has been through a lot. I don't.
That'd be a good ass fight.
How the
Yo,
fuck you?
I heard that Danny Garcia might go to 154.
Danny Garcia ain't gonna
No, he
sign up for
gonna-
that
he gonna knock
bullshit
Tony
again.
Harrison out.
Yeah,
Tony
he's not
Harrison.
gonna sign up for that.
Spence gonna knock Tony Harrison out.
Oh hell, I don't even want to see that shit happen. That Danny Garcia punk asked me to fight Lubin. Lubin said you can have my WBC #1 spot with Charlo if you can go ahead and take me out. Danny Garcia like, nah, I'm trying to get big money. Shut up. Gotta earn your way up.
I think the only one that has that Danny Garcia has a chance with is J Rock. I think that's the only fight he probably has, and besides other coming contenders.
I'll pick Danny Garcia to beat J Rock.
Yeah, because you know all it takes is one damn hook and that shit's over.
No,
hell
no,
I don't know,
bro. Listen. I kind of do agree with them. No. I agree with you, bro.
But pretty much anybody that you can think, all you can say is that,
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. If Danny Garcia beats Lubin, I wouldn't be surprised, or if he beats Fundora. I feel like what would happen, he'll probably fight Fundora. You think so?
I think Danny Garcia will fuck around and beat Fundora, but Lubin, I doubt it.
Danny not beating Erickson Lubin. He's not beating him. He's too strong for Danny.
Ooh.
Yeah, Lubin be sparring fucking super middleweight.
Lubin would be a good fight.
It depends on the money involved. People saying that it's guaranteed that Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. I don't think they're gonna fight either.
They're not gonna fight.
But if
they're not gonna fight.
Proper.
Because remember they both got DJ trains both of them.
Yeah, they
can't. I mean, Andre Rozier coached both Deverenchenko and Danny Jacobs.
I know. I remember that.
But I think Spence and Boots will fight at 154.
Ooh,
I agree with that one. I see that one coming.
Ooh.
So I'm
gonna keep it real with y'all too, though. This is my thinking. This is my thinking, y'all. I think Al wants to keep Boots at 47 because Al he still wants to have a cash cow or his next guy at 147 after Spence leave. So I think.
But can his body hold up to that?
That's gonna be a hard. That's gonna be a hard task. That's gonna be a hard task.
Yo, what I think what would happen, bro, is that the Charlo at 154, if he beats Castano, he'll move up right away and just make.
Yeah, he gonna move up. He gonna move up if he wins that fight. He gonna move up.
And Spence beats Ugas. I think the Crawford and Spence fight is gonna happen at 154 because I think Crawford's gonna use that W Mando because he'll fight Tim, that Australian, but I see him fighting that Australian dude, bro. Going to Australia.
No, they're gonna fight for undisputed. They're gonna fight for undisputed. Him and Bud are gonna fight for undisputed.
At 154, I'm
gonna tell y'all the truth, yo. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm gonna keep it real with you because I'll be talking to a lot of motherfuckers, yo. But after the Ugas fight is over with and whatever Bud does, they better hurry up and get that shit cracking because Josh Taylor's coming and he can activate that WBO mandatory immediately and he can jump the line.
No, Josh Taylor, bro.
Yeah, jump the line and get his ass kicked.
Oh, I know. I already know. Bud gonna stop him.
Shit out of him.
Bud gonna stop
him. I keep on talking shit though, but I'm like, man, it'll be funny as hell if Josh Taylor has a tough fight with Jack Catterall, whatever that guy's name is.
Catterall.
Oh hell no!
I swear because look, if he does, that's gonna kill that Crawford welterweight talk so fucking fast. Watch.
Yeah.
I think that Josh Kelly.
Before. I'm trying to think.
Taylor.
That happened with Andy Ruiz. You remember when Andy Ruiz got with Reynoso and everybody's talking so much shit and they're like, "Oh yeah, this guy he can fucking beat everybody. He's gonna smoke Wilder easy. He's gonna smoke Wilder and all that."
Wilder would knock Ruiz into.
And as soon as he got in there with Areola, it looked less than
like garbage.
They said all that.
Yeah, they killed that noise real quick.
All
like garbage.
So
hey, that's what they said. They just like
be out of here as well.
They were like, "Oh, Ruiz will sleep Wilder." I was like, "Based off of what?
Yeah,
what the fuck?" We
gotta see it happen because that was his first fight with Reynoso. He had that long ass layoff. We gotta see what he does. If he looks like shit the second fight and they confirm.
All I'm saying is that how the hell do you get worse with a year of proper diet and exercise? How the fuck that happen? You actually train like you're supposed to train and you get worse. Oh shit.
Nah, real shit though. He ain't lying. All his fighters always testing positive. So what the fuck?
And then they look worse after they test positive. How the hell Valdez get in there?
Valdez
get in there, get his ass whooped by a dude ranked number 14 by the WBC, bruh.
But yo, what I learned though, dude beat Oscar Valdez in amateurs.
Well, I knew Conceição wasn't a hoe because he got a gold medal. I knew he wasn't a hoe, but I'm just like, this is a dude they put you in there like you supposed to demolish, and they fucked around and got the matchmaking fucked up. That's why when dude was trying to tell me that Reynoso was the one that petitioned for the cruiserweight fight, I was like, Reynoso ain't no motherfucking matchmaker. Like he ain't no franchise fucking champ matchmaker, bro. I'm like, look what he did to Valdez. Almost got that boy beat up. He got that boy beat up. They had to fix the fucking fight.
Yo, but when he gets his fighters, do you
But honestly though, y'all, I never
or-
thought Oscar Valdez was that good anyway. Because I already knew he was juiced up when he beat Miguel Perchet. I knew he was juiced up then. Because he ain't never had that much punching power before.
No, he did, but no, he did have punching power. No, he did, bro. He had decent amount of punching power. Yeah, he did. Are you stupid, bro? Look at his knockouts. He knocked out Adama Lopez. He knocked out Matias Reda. He knocked out Jason Velez. No,
I knew Oscar Valdez had decent punching power. What bothered me about him was his boxing ability. He's got 31s and 23 knockouts. Nobody's taking that away from him, but with his boxing ability and his current
knockouts.
Well, with his boxing ability and his current resume, we knew that he wasn't going to rise to the cream of the crop without political assistance. As we can see, is what's happening because I knew like if they were going to make the Shakur fight, I knew they weren't going to have him fight Shakur because Shakur would get on that ass. It's the same reason why they're just bullshitting and wasting time about the Lomachenko thing when they know Lomachenko fighting Kambosos. They talk about, I might have Shakur Stevenson come up and fight Lomachenko. No, nigga, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not going to do all that.
Because he know Lomachenko. They know Lomachenko going to get his ass whooped by Shakur Stevenson.
Exactly. They know that shit. It's all capped to keep. It's all capped to keep the casuals greased up while they keep Shakur on the fucking shelf.
Exactly.
You think it'll be? No, I think to be honest, bro. I think it'll be Style. I think it's gonna be a 50-50 fight. I'm not gonna say he's gonna blow Loma. Like he has a chance to beat him. If he beats him, it's not gonna be like an upset. But I don't think if he goes in there and like washes him, that is a statement. But I don't think he's gonna I don't know. I think it's a close.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. I think he's going to beat the brakes off Lomachenko because we saw Lomachenko. No, let's keep it 100 with y'all. We saw Lomachenko get schooled by a less skilled fighter.
Yeah.
Both his losses are to less skilled fighters.
Severely less skilled, but also the way motherfuckers was talking about that Lomachenko versus Shakur sparring, Lomachenko ain't like, hey man, I don't want to do all that shit again with no fucking headgear on.
And plus, remember, Shakur sparred Lomachenko a couple times too, and they said, and a lot of people say he roughed up Lomachenko both times.
Yeah. If you look at the photos of the after sparring, Lomachenko looked beat up. If you look at the photos that they took after sparring, Lomachenko looked like he got worked on.
But the funny thing about it is though, y'all, and I know we're like jumping from subject to subject, but
it's a
fucking. You see what they doing with Devin Haney? They doing everything and everything possible to keep that boy from that fight, yo, and that's ridiculous to me because he earned it. He put respect on that. Everybody called him an email champion, but his last two fights were against top contenders.
Yeah, that's facts. But I think, bro, what they should do, bro, they do mandate the IBF for WBO. So if a Kambosos does choose to fight,
it's the WBO.
No, yeah. What he should do, but you guys are not going to agree with this and say, what if he vacates the title and just lets Lomachenko fight whoever he wants to fight and then just still fights it? Would you still give him
Lomachenko bitch ass is still going to stay there because if Devin Haney beats Kambosos like we all think he will, he ain't going to go nowhere near Dev.
I think that Devin Haney should wait until Josh Taylor vacates and then vacate at the same time and go up there and do some damage at 140.
Yeah, because we know once he vacates the WBC belt.
They all gonna try to fight for it if he try to vacate. They gonna go for it.
They gonna be like roaches on food,
bro.
Yeah, they're gonna be like flies to shit.
Think of Ryan Garcia try to. Tia Female might try to get back in the mix. Lomo's gonna try to fight for it.
Yeah, exactly. Once Lomachenko, if Lomachenko get it off Kambosos, it's gonna be fucking either Lomachenko and Tia Female or like Ryan Garcia and Tia Female for that vacant or some shit.
Yeah, I fuck around and go see that shit. That's what
I remember Lomachenko was talking about. He said that the person that excites him the most and he will fight is Ryan Garcia. He didn't say nothing about Tank or fucking Devin.
And this
That's
is
how
they
you know
pound
he
for
was clout
pound
chasing
number
Tank's
one.
name.
This is they pound for pound number one, the one that's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. Get him the fuck out of here, man.
And
I'm sick of
motherfuckers were
hearing
talking
about
about how Devin Haney ducked Fortuna. Fortuna said the
He
same
didn't
thing as
duck
Lomachenko.
Fortuna.
No, exactly. I was gonna say
Fortuna. They turned that
Fortuna
down.
said the same thing. Fortuna said the same thing as Lomachenko. I want to fight Ryan Garcia. He said the same shit.
Man, bro, I want to see it. I want to see
And here,
it.
and another thing too. Speaking of that situation, since I'm glad you brought that up, because remember, Fortuna was supposed to fight Devin. He was the first in line to get the title shot, but he chose to fight JoJo Diaz for eliminator.
Yep.
Who fights an eliminator over a fucking shot at the title?
Jaime Munguia and Virgil Ortiz Jr. They fight multiple eliminators back to back.
Fuck, man, come on.
And Jaime Munguia ain't fighting Adames next. He fighting some random niggas.
No. Oh, yeah, his bitch ass need to be called to the carpet too, because you know he's been the #1 contender for Andrade's belt since he fucking moved up
And
to 154.
And Charlo, he's the #1 for both of them.
And he don't want to fight neither one of them. He's been ducking both of them.
And niggas are really saying Jaime Munguia can get up there and fuck with Jamal Charlo. Man, Jamal Charlo will get on his ass.
Jamal Charlo will he will beat shit down Jaime Munguia's leg.
Bruh. He was struggling with a weight drain Rosado with 13 fucking losses, and he was getting tagged up the entire fucking fight. What the hell you think Jamal?
No, I'm gonna do you one better, bro. He lost to Dennis Hogan.
Real
in my
shit.
opinion, he lost to Dennis Hogan. And Charlo decapitated him in what, 5 rounds?
7.
7? Shit.
Yeah.
He beat him easy. I do too.
If they fought at 160, probably.
Yeah,
I
think so.
Our man. I know you saw that clip I sent you, man. I said you can make it, but we saw how Montiel ended up when they fought the first time. I wouldn't mind seeing the second.
That was at 147 though.
You said
that was 154, I think.
Huh? I sent you that clip. Click on it. Look up. Nah, but I'm telling you, bro. I don't know. Like, and how did he struggle against Rosado? But he arguably won like 9 rounds. Like Rosado barely won like 3 rounds. How did he? Fuck, he literally beat him almost every round. Like,
no, I'm not saying that he didn't wash him. He washed Rosado. That's fine.
Bro,
the thing is, Rosado had 13 losses, and 4 of them were by knockout, and he was weight drained. Jaime Munguia
Gabe Rosado was past it, man.
Bro.
Like, he's been in so many
Bro,
wars.
Bro, he's the one that wanted to fight, though. He called out. He's like, give me Munguia, and then he agreed to it. It's not like nobody. He's the one that wanted that fight. He said, I want Munguia.
I understand that, but Munguia's been #1 for actual champions, and he hasn't been petitioning for shit.
Bro,
he was supposed to be the fight. He was supposed to go fight Andrade immediately after he vacated 154.
The WBO president literally tweeted me back saying that Munguia has elected not to fight Andrade. I have the screenshot.
I saw that.
I have the screenshot.
Oh, he sent it to you?
He tweeted me back direct.
Wow. I saw that screenshot like not too long ago.
Yeah, bro. Like he said Jaime Munguia. He straight up
I know
said
somebody made it public, but I didn't know it was you, bro.
I could post it again. I don't give a fuck. But he said that Jaime Munguia has elected not to fight Andrade and is instead trying to go the fucking the Golovkin route. And I'm like, how you gonna do that when you're not even fighting an eliminator for fucking Golovkin's belt?
That payday, bro.
That's wild, man. And then that's another motherfucker who likes ducking and dodging, and nobody gives him shit for it.
Yeah. Triple G is too old. Triple G is too old for Jamal Charlo, but not too old for Murata. Nigga.
Damn, but you can't compare, bro. You can't compare Murata. The only thing Murata has, bro, to be honest, is he's an Olympian, a gold medalist.
Murata sucks.
Murata, I'm gonna keep
it 100 with y'all. Look, y'all. Look. I don't know. Remember them fights with Rob Brandt, right?
I don't see.
Y'all remember those fights with Rob Brandt, right?
He lost one of them, didn't he?
Yeah, he got fucking schooled. But how come? But how did he get Rob Brandt to come over to Japan?
And then he got beat. And Rob got stuck.
And all of a sudden he knocks him out. Don't y'all find that suspicious?
How? Like, was he the rematch?
Yeah, that's that shit. That's that shit that Bob Arum be pulling.
He got knocked out in 2 fucking rounds too. How you watch this nigga in a UD and then you go over to Japan
in the US? He got watched by Rob Brandt and then
2-round knockout.
Yeah, and then a 2nd round knockout. Y'all don't think that's suspicious? Y'all don't think
And then,
Come on,
it's
man.
funny because
that
the same
motherfucker
thing.
juicing, bro.
The same thing happened with fucking Hassan Endam. Hassan Endam, he lost to him the first time they fought in Japan. Second time he fights in Japan, stops him in 7. Like what?
Yeah, he juicing.
So he lost to fucking Rob Brant and Dog. Get this nigga the fuck out of here. Get him out of here, man.
He garbage.
Get him out of here.
He garbage, bro.
And bro, and AD and
Oh, this nigga
and
is
Midwest
slick.
was trying to say that how is Murata not a fucking cherry pick? No,
That's a
and he
complete
said no. He
cherry
said
pick. What?
Ugas is. Man, what was that bullshit that Midwest said the other
Well,
day?
Midwest was basically arguing that because Pacquiao, he said that basically at the time Pacquiao wasn't actually a champion and Ugas was simply defending the belt that he got back over. But one thing I wasn't sure on is like, didn't Pacquiao get called? Was Ugas making the defense or was Pacquiao the champion recess? I forgot.
They were Pac was the champion recess. Ugas was still the champion. But the thing is, though, they were not going to let the WBA was not going to let Pacquiao and Spence fight for the WBA belt. So when Spence had the unfortunate eye injury, they put Ugas in there. So Ugas basically defended his title. So basically, whoever won that fight was going to be the unanimous WBA champion, and we saw how that played out.
Yeah, so he was arguing that situation. He was trying to say that Pacquiao wasn't a champion at the time because he thinks that, you know, he at first he said that belts matter more than resumes, and we were like, okay, cool. So Spence is getting the 3rd belt, and he's like, well, but
exactly. Just like you said, bro. Well,
exactly. But my thing is, I was like, bro, not what I'm saying is that Murata hasn't done anything noteworthy. And keep in mind, Triple G wasn't even talking about fighting Murata until he was elevated to the WBA Super, and also he fought nobody for that belt. At least, and he has no mandatories.
But y'all don't hear nobody calling Triple G an email champion, right?
Exactly. Or Murata.
Okay.
Murata for that matter. But the thing is, though, I'm like, also, Murata didn't have any mandatories. Ugas was elevated and immediately defended against someone that is extremely credentialed.
Ramos.
Well, yeah, Abel Ramos, but I was going to say Pacquiao. When he was elevated to the Super, he had to defend against Pacquiao.
You're right.
Yeah, so I'm like, who the fuck has Murata been defending against? Jack shit. He hasn't defended jack shit. He got elevated and is immediately going into a fucking unification. So basically, by that logic, Ugas shouldn't have even really had to fight Pacquiao. He should have been elevated and immediately go into unification with Spence. But he had to actually fight somebody. Murata hasn't had to fight shit.
Facts.
So it's like,
that's true.
So you could just like, even on a skill level, you look at Ugas and you look at fucking Murata, and it's not
even close.
Thing.
Come on, man.
Murata isn't known for beating anybody. It's kind of like Green Bean. Like I said, Green Beans is only known for losing to Crawford. Ricky Burns is only known for losing to Crawford. Postal is damn near only known for losing to Crawford. And I think Danny fucking Garcia and he's known for like.
Postal lost to he lost to Dan Croft and who else? Josh Taylor, I think.
Yeah, and he's only known for stopping Lucas Matthysse.
And he lost to Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, a lot of these guys are only known for losing to a motherfucker. Just like Nakatani at 135. This nigga's only known for losing to Teofimo and Lomachenko. He hasn't accomplished anything. He's nobody.
Exactly.
Richard Comey.
Yeah, and Robert Easter Jr. was the first man to whoop his ass. Didn't get an ounce.
Robert Easter convincingly beat him, but they made it seem like that. I mean, I got into an argument with somebody. They talking about Robert Easter didn't do much. What? He completely he beat him, and he was the first man that beat him. But yet y'all trying to shit on him.
Nigga didn't get an ounce of credit. Didn't get an ounce of credit.
No,
for shit.
He didn't.
You didn't get no credit, and it's funny because
and he beat Javier Fortuna too.
Absolutely, and people say that Javier Fortuna beat him. Like Javier Fortuna's always been some kind of good boxer. Again, Javier Fortuna, another motherfucker that's just known for losing, ain't won a single step-up fight, has no championship credentials, but Devin Haney ducking this nigga. All right, cool. But like I was gonna say, I wasn't angry about the shit yesterday. I was just like, look, it's either resumes matter or they fucking don't. And then he said, well, resumes do matter. And I was like, okay, cool. So
And then I said, like, if resumes matter, then why are we so high on Bud at 147?
Because he's a 3-division world champion. And I'm like, but you just said resumes. Well, he's a 3-division world champion. And then I asked, well, break me out some names that Ricky Burns fought. well, Ricky Burns is a 3-division world champion. I thought you said resumes matter. They do. And I was like, oh, and then so he just kept switching off. Like, so they do for some people and they don't for other people in the situations. And I'm like, no, bro, see, the resumes matter. They don't fucking matter.
It matters for Wilder and Spence. It don't matter for nobody else.
Because all he was talking about, all he was talking about was belts. And I'm like, okay, cool. So Andrade and Charlo are multi-division champions that have been holding down the belts in both divisions. They shouldn't be taking any shit. Well, they need to fight some damn body. And I'm like, okay, so it's back to the resume thing. So you're just gonna keep switching it depending on who we're talking about.
But speaking of that, but y'all shit on Charlo for beating the brakes off Derevyanchenko, but Derevyanchenko whooped Triple G ass.
I'm always say,
and whooped his ass convincingly.
I always say this.
And both Charlos beat Trout cleaner than Canelo did.
I say that. Yeah. I mean, Charlo versus Derby should have been a unification. That's what I always say. Because he beat Bum Lupkin's ass.
He did.
He pretty much dropped him. But
they robbed him. They robbed him
of a knockdown.
Even Chris Mannix had Derevyanchenko win the fight over Triple G, and he is a zone commentator.
Harvey,
man, they booed that nigga. His own crowd booed him. I'll never forget.
Triple G didn't even think he won when they raised his hand. They were like, "Woo, I look like shit right there." And like you see his face, he was disappointed in his motherfucking self. And then Harvey getting
that before Jacobs.
Yeah, Harvey getting right behind him, robbing Derevyanchenko of a knockdown, talking about keep him up. Nigga, you didn't have to stand right behind Triple G to say that shit. Put his dumb ass aside.
Referees definitely helped him out.
Hell yeah, Joe punk at Harvey dog. Man, once he did that, I was like, man, fuck you. We got to get Steve Willis and fucking and what's his name, Tony Weeks more damn fights.
Facts.
Nah, they need to get on my fucking nerves.
But they the only ones.
Yeah, as long as it's not fucking what's the ball name? What's the dude name? That
Russell Moore.
No, dude have Reese.
Jack Reese.
Jack Reese. Son of a bitch. He helped fucking Fury.
Russell Moore trash too. Fuck him.
He fucking helped Fury the first fight with Wilder because that was a long count.
Hey, but guess what? Y'all know
he was paid. He was paid to do that, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. He was paid to do that.
Y'all know Russell Moore ref Canelo versus Plant too.
Oh, he did. Oh,
yeah. Russell Moore.
I didn't
getting
even know
all
who
the
that
big...
was, bro. I didn't even pay attention to who that was until you just said something.
Russell Moore did Canelo Plant. He did Wilder Fury 3. He all shit. I'm trying to think of the other ones he did.
So he likes waving off. So he likes waving shit off early.
Hell yeah, and Jack, and you can tell Jack Reese is being paid because he's inconsistent as fuck. Like, check this out. How the fuck did Tyson Fury get a long ass count, but you gonna stop Tony Harrison on the ropes while he was standing up? The fuck? Right. Yeah.
It should be over.
Boxing got universal rules now that niggas be ignoring. I think that fucking instant replay shit needs to be mandatory because I was super heated. I was super heated during the Triple G Jacobs fight because they gave the motherfucker a knockdown. I'm like, bro, he ran on him chest to chest and he fucking fell over.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Knockdown? Like, man, he's more. And look at what happened to fucking what's his name? Joshua Franco and Maloney. Maloney punched him and was getting ready to get a technical knockout because he was about to. His eye was shut. They said it was from a headbutt. They could find no headbutt. I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, are you?
Wasn't that on the Kell Brook and Crawford undercard?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fucking Maloney versus Franco. Franco got off a good hook, shut his eye, and he couldn't continue. They were like, it's clearly a headbutt. Even Joshua Franco with his pussy ass knew it wasn't headbutt. He was just like, yeah, headbutt. Yeah, couldn't tell us when it happened. Couldn't tell us where.
Happened, man.
pussy. You got punched one time, closed your shit, and was like, I don't want to continue. And I can't stand when they talk about the eye shit because if y'all remember, Andre Berto went 12 with Guerrero and both his eyes were shut. How the fuck Andre Berto do it?
Exactly.
Talking about,
They had Andre Berto looking like what's the boy name? That had that fucking shit happen to him. Billy Collins. That's who Andre Berto was looking like.
Yeah, they had Andre
Y'all remember
Berto
Billy
in there.
Collins when that shit happened to him?
Yeah, with Rusto.
Louis Rustro.
Yeah. They had that nigga Berto looking like he was fucking allergic to air.
Also stopped Khan and Canelo when he laid out like Fury. Exactly.
Yup.
That's real shit, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, I swear to God on my life, y'all. I swear to God on my two kids. I've watched it. I saw that count at least. I saw that count at least 30 times. I've counted 30 times, 30 different times with that count. Every single time, Fury did not beat that count.
And wasn't on the third fight they had that clip on Twitter? Y'all remember that clip on Twitter? It was like,
the third fight he really got away with that shit again.
Andre Ward accidentally said it live. He was like, "Yeah, that count was a little bit long." Then he was like, "Ooh shit." He had to go on a Twitter apology tour the next morning because he probably got the email from ESPN like, "All right, nigga, you keep talking that shit."
He got that Bob.
Yeah, you keep talking that shit, you gonna find yourself in the unemployment line, nigga. You gonna have to start boxing again. You're like, "Oh, Tyson Fury did his thing. He's the greatest heavyweight of all time." I'm like, yeah.
But how is he the greatest heavyweight of all time, beating somebody that can't box? He's a bum. He's trash. He's garbage. Yeah, it don't make no sense.
Andre Ward fucked up and said some real shit, and he got that email like, "Hey, so have you seen your contract lately? Looks like the expiration date's almost up. You got some other employment, buddy? Huh?"
You know what pisses me off too?
She wouldn't get no job at the PBC. All that shit he's been talking. I'll have him be like, "Hell no, get your bitch ass out of here, nigga."
You saw what they did to Paulie Malignaggi.
Hey, come on, guys. Hey,
You saw what they did to Paulie. They got rid of his ass.
Because he said that shit about Eastern European supremacy.
Yeah.
And then Europeans been getting their ass whooped.
His goofy ass don't know nothing about boxing.
Speaking of Eastern Europeans, did y'all see what happened to Michael Sorrell versus they're trying to bring up this Charlo killer named Madrimov? Bruh, he fucking hit this man multiple times after the bell, and the ref waved it off. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is why you can't have no fights in the fucking third world. It's bullshit. They went back to his country of fucking Uzbekistan. Who gives a fuckistan? The bell rings. He lets off 2-3 more punches. The ref goes, "Oh, that's the fight." I'm like, what the fuck?
That's bullshit.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, just not to switch subjects. I'm still a little pissed about with Canelo and Plant, the way they did them scorecards, because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. And Artman don't even fucking vouch for me with this one. Plant was whooping his fucking ass.
Oh, Teak, I say that all the time. Plant was boxing his fucking ears off.
He was whooping Canelo's ass, dog. Like, easy.
I had it a draw. I had a 5-5 going into the 11.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I had Plant up 7-3. That's how bad I thought he was beating Canelo. I ended up 7-3.
I was watching with my dad, and my dad was like, "Yeah, he's getting his ass whooped."
Yeah,
and I ain't even got no issue with that. I don't got no issue with it being tied, or you thought Plant was up by 6-4, or
it wasn't no blowout though. They were trying to say it was fucking blowout. It wasn't no blowout.
And he was barely hitting Plant.
He wasn't
barely touched him.
He wasn't hitting shit. He was hitting fucking elbows. He was hitting his side. He was punching him in the kidney because he had no other options. Looking like JoJo Diaz versus Haney in that bitch. And it was funny because this is another moment where Bud, fucking Reynoso didn't even think they were winning the fucking fight. That's why Reynoso
and they wasn't.
Reynoso was in the corner. Reynoso was in the corner like, bro, you really gonna let this man take your legacy away from you? Get out there and get up in his ass. That's why he fucking jumped on him the way he did. Yeah, he was like, bro, you stop this nigga, man. Yeah, I mean they were gonna win the fight anyway because politics. But even Reynoso didn't think they were winning the fight. They were like, bro, you really gonna let this man do you like this? We didn't put in all this motherfucking work. You really gonna let it go down like this?
And the thing about it was, as soon as Plant hit the ground, the second time they waited up.
No, hell yeah, those cards were fucking bogus.
They were gonna rob Plant no matter what.
From the commentary, from that to the commentary, to the scorecard.
Commentary
that
was
shit,
buzzed
man.
because they were showing the highlights and they were like, "Oh, look at Canelo land a left." I'm like, "Nigga, a left what? He hit the
I left
fucking
his
rope."
fucking elbow.
Yeah, I'm like, "What the fuck y'all talking about?"
What he gave him an elbow injury?
Yeah,
it
I'm
damn
like,
sure wasn't to his face or his body.
he didn't land a clean body shot the entire fight because that was Plant's number one concern. He was concerned about the liver tap because that's like the Mexican's favorite punch. But he fucked up when he didn't hold that phone high enough for 2 seconds, and then you're fighting.
But I got my own theory about that too, though, bro. I'm gonna keep it with you.
You're fighting a juice slice heavyweight.
They gave CP that brown paper bag. I'm keeping it real with you because the way he was.
You think they gave him the top?
Yeah, they gave him the brown paper bag. They gave him a couple extra million. I'm keeping 100 with you.
Hey, look. Hey, check this out, man. I said something similar, but I ain't go too far into it because I already know people
I'll go there, bro.
Art Man, you conspiracy theorists. But remember, I was saying it. I was saying things prior to the fight, like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like, what if the dudes came up and had that talk with Plant? You know, I'm talking about them dudes who, you know, Canelo had to pay some money to.
I'm telling you, bro, they gave CP that brown paper bag.
I told you that the second press conference, I was like, "Hey, that energy is a little bit different, Art."
The energy was different. Look, when he stepped off the motherfucking van, he's walking with his chick. I felt it because I'm gonna keep it 100. I feel like I wouldn't say an expert, but I feel like I know people's body language pretty good, and I just noticed that, man. I was like, yo, that confidence, all that shit is gone. That shit is gone. It's not the moment. It's something else.
The thing is, to me, is that he looked depressed. He's walking into his highest payday for undisputed at 168, and he looked fucking depressed. I was like, I feel like he know how this shit gonna play out too, and he know it's not gonna go the way he thinks it's gonna go. Like that second press conference, it looked like he was about to cry the whole time. I'm like, wait, what's wrong with you? What the hell wrong with you?
They gave him that money. They gave him that extra money.
I'm not gonna say it definitively, but that's just how it looks.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm saying it definitively because Canelo couldn't touch him. He was too fucking slow.
Yep, Canelo was way too slow.
Both theories. Both theories are plausible though. Both theories are plausible.
And I saw Canelo's punches coming from a mile away. Exactly.
But it also he's a juiced up light heavyweight fighting at 168. So both theories are plausible. Him knocking Plant out. Yeah, him knocking Plant out makes sense, but also the other thing makes sense too.
Well, like he had his moments, but he got sloppy. I agree with that part. He got sloppy, had his moments, but for not enough to have that shit happen though, because Canelo couldn't even land nothing. Faster hand.
You saw what he did. You saw what happened. You saw what happened when he hit that body. Canelo. Y'all saw that, right?
He folded.
The biggest red flag
down the stairs. That pissed me off.
The biggest red flag for me was when he was doing that talking. When I heard the clip, I was like, "Oh hell no, nigga!"
I was like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I know you ain't in there talking about, oh, what do you think of my skill? What the fuck you doing? When I heard the clip afterwards, I was like, oh fuck, this smelled like some bullshit.
It's a Canelo fight. What do y'all expect? Always some bullshit behind it.
You admire my skills? You think I'm good for 21-0? Like, what the fuck you talking about?
I ain't gonna lie. When I first seen the clip, I thought he was talking about something else, and I immediately reposted. And I thought it was hard. I thought he was talking shit. But then when I actually listened to it, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
In there sucking dick mid fight. Fucking make no sense.
That's
would've
how
been
bad.
I would have
That's
got
how
him
bad
fucking
you had
mad.
it.
I agree with that one.
I would have been like, "Come
Yeah,
at me,
fuck me,
motherfucker,"
man.
and then made him run into a fucking uppercut. A real.
That's all you
uppercut
gotta
as he
say
was
is
charging at me.
motherfucker.
Come at me, motherfucker.
Hey, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like,
why are you saying that type of bro? And that's what makes you feel like it's weird because why didn't you just talk that type of talk? Why didn't you call him a motherfucker a pet cheat? Like, yeah, nigga, I know you on peds right now, but I'm still getting in your ass. Like that's just,
Yeah,
that's what you
facts.
supposed
That's
to
what
be
I would have
saying.
Yeah.
said.
That's the thing, bro. He
I said, but
was
them
whooping
drugs ain't
him.
helping you now, motherfucker, huh? Them drugs ain't helping you now, bitch.
He was whooping him. Easy. That's
You
what. That's why
admire,
I'm mad. That's
you
why I'm
admire
mad.
No,
my
but and then
skills.
you got to think about it like this, man. He was whooping his ass so bad that he had time to do that shit. He had time to sit back and talk. Canelo was following. He went left. Canelo went left.
Yo,
He went
bro,
right. Canelo went right.
She was
bro.
corny as
He was
fuck,
making
man.
it. I even posted it on my Facebook page. I'm like, yo, he whoop. He putting his foot in his boy ass. Like it was easy for him, but yeah, like I said though, he got that brown paper bag. Just like y'all said, when he walked into the stadium, his body language was different. He
Well,
got paid off.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Canelo's the quote unquote pound for pound number one, but he's never shown separation between his elite opponents. He ain't
It's
never
going.
really shown that separation.
He ain't that
It's
fucking good.
it's gonna show in the next fight. In the next Plant fight. In the next Plant fight, it's definitely gonna show. Because if Plant get in there, and he's kind of the same or has a lackluster performance. Okay, maybe whatever. If Plant get in there and whoop somebody ass, I'm gonna be like, oh hell no.
Nigga,
Yeah.
it don't even have to be that. I'm looking at the Caleb Smith fight, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is not the guy.
Didn't he
Canelo.
stop at nobody? Didn't he stop at nobody, Callum Smith?
No, that knockout was vicious, man.
But
that's not the same
it's
dude
not even
that
about
fought
him
Canelo.
stopping a nobody. It's the fact that how he stopped that dude. Like,
One
so
left
you
hook.
telling me you had all this, but you didn't throw none of that in the Canelo fight? We
He
literally
didn't throw a
saw you shell
single
up.
left. He didn't throw a single check left hook. He sent that nigga to the gulag with one
And
punch.
you know what all the Canelo fans tell me? They just say, "Oh, everybody's scared of Canelo. They just don't want to get countered." And I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Them slow ass fucking hands he got, please.
Khan,
Slow ass fucking
Khan,
hands.
Khan
You know
wasn't
what's
scared of
crazy, though?
Canelo.
You know what's
Khan
crazy,
was
though?
all up on his ass.
One dude on Twitter said Canelo has better skills
Then who?
Earl
Who?
Spence. Earl
Get
Spence.
the fuck out of here. Get the
Oh
fuck
my
out
God.
of here, man. I
No,
wish
for
I
skill, Earl's
would have saw that shit, bro.
super skill. Earl's a way better
Way more
fighter.
fucking skilled than Canelo.
Bro, why do you think Canelo left welterweight? Because the niggas like Spence. He didn't want to deal with all that shit. He went from 140 to fucking 154 for a reason. He didn't hang out at welterweight for a long period of time. He was like, shit,
And
man,
then you
you
see
gonna
why he
get
don't
on
want to
my
play
ass.
Andrade and Charlo.
Hell no, because at 160 without that juice, he getting that ass whooped.
Exactly. You can tell from the first
decision.
fight, from the first Bum Lupkin fight to that second fight, it's a difference in his physique and his performances and everything. After that period, how you go from decisioning motherfuckers at 154 to knocking motherfuckers at 168 out?
He
And
knocked
175.
He knocked out Kovalev. Y'all would have saw me. If y'all seen me, I have my little two fingers.
Well, even Kovalev said that was bullshit. Kovalev said, basically,
Kovalev did say that.
But that's my thing.
he came out and said that they said that he can get two or three extra DAZN fights if he made that fight go the right way, which is why right after that fight he was immediately signing to fight fucking Melokuziev, Beck the Bully, with only 6 fucking fights. They talk all this shit about resume, but some prospect with only 6 fights is getting a Kovalev deal. The fuck?
Exactly.
Like, none of this shit add up.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Exactly. Thank you. Because it's a blueprint to beat them.
Well, Plant looked solid with Uskatigi, he fought Truax last, didn't he?
Yeah,
It was
He didn't.
Truax.
I don't think he looked that great. He broke his hand in the
Yeah, he
did.
broke his fucking hand.
Because he looked great against except for a few rounds, he looked great against Usataki.
Yeah, Uskatigi, he was fucking him up. But like I said, if I see that Plant at any point for the rest of his career, I'm gonna call bullshit.
Yep.
I'm gonna call bullshit on the whole fucking operation.
I'm definitely going, and I'm going to
I'm Beehive. I'm putting
Canelo.
cases on all you motherfuckers.
Right, y'all niggas gonna be playing basketball in Pelican Bay shoe program.
and this
Nigga.
the thing. These niggas be dick sucking, and it's like you look at Canelo's skill set, you look at his fights and throughout his whole career. There's nothing really that just makes it say, "Oh man, this motherfucker is the goods right here. This motherfucker is so great." There's nothing. He got his ass whooped by Floyd Mayweather. You know, he
got beat by Laura.
Exactly. He got beat by Laura. He got beat by Bum Lufkin.
He lost every round to Khan before the fucking knockout.
Exactly.
He got beat. He was getting beat by fucking Plant.
He was getting beat by Kovalev. This
Beat by Billy Joe.
Exactly.
If Plant fight Charlo,
This is the pound for pound number one.
if Plant fight Charlo at fucking 168 and Plant get if Plant like do something crazy like either decision Jamal or knock him out, the whole operation is bullshit.
Facts.
The whole operation is bullshit. If you do anything different with Jamal Charlo besides fucking lose like I expect you to, the whole operation is bullshit.
I'm calling on Twitter. They said that Canelo is more skilled, but Canelo is very crafty, but he's very efficient. This is wait. Let me get this out. The thing is, Canelo is very efficient. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. He counters. You know what I mean? And a lot of times these guys are mentally defeated before they even get in the ring. Whatever.
Or paid off.
Absolutely. So what you guys see, you know, I don't know how and why you guys elevate Canelo up there when he's fighting the Rocky Fieldings, when he's fighting the Yildirim, when he's fighting the Bombashes versus Callum and things of that nature. You know, when you judge him against an Allen, and everybody said this many times, when you judge Canelo against a high-level fighter, he has never dominated, he's never separated himself, and he's either lost or he won controversially. So,
but you know who has, though? You know who has dominated high-level fighters? Some guy named Errol Spence.
Exactly, facts, T.
Nah, bro.
I was just gonna say that.
I'm just keeping it real. Like I seen Spence, I seen him dominate Mikey, and he was a top 3 pound for pound fighter at the time. I seen him dominate Danny Garcia. I saw, and in my opinion, I thought he dominated Sean Porter too. Because after I rewatched the fight, I was saying after I rewatched the fight, because when I first watched it live, I had a 7-5 EJ, but then when I rewatched it, I had it 9-3, 10-2. Spence clearly dominated that fight because Porter missed a lot of punches.
He did.
And they keep talking about how Mikey Garcia came up from 135. Nigga, so did Bud.
No, not even that.
Mikey Garcia, not even that, bro. Mikey Garcia was a champion at 140.
He beat Sergey Lipinets for that.
Exactly. He was the champion at 140.
He beat the shit out of Sergey Lipinets too.
The Earl Spence Mikey Garcia, the Earl Spence performance versus Mikey Garcia is one of the most underrated performances,
completely underrated,
that I've ever seen in boxing. That he threw 1,082 punches. You know what I mean? The way he did it and the skill and manner and outside. I mean, the way he did it, the jab, the hooks, the body punches. He was so efficient, so elusive, so effective. I'm telling you, I love that version of Earl Spence because he can bring the hammer when he needs to, but the fact that he was so efficient, he overwhelmed with punch, no one talks about that. They want to talk about all this and that. They want to talk about the doghouse Spence, but I'm telling you, if Earl Spence brings this version to Ugas or this, what he did with the Mikey,
he's going to fight that way against Ugas, in my opinion.
I'm telling you, then there's nothing he can do about it.
Earl Spence Jr. is one of the only fighters in boxing that knows how to take rest while on the front foot. Crazy. Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Earl Spence Jr. is a comedian in the ring. Sean Porter said he was a comedian in the ring. You done seen Earl fight every style. fought on the inside. He fought on the outside. He can fight
yo.
mid-range.
That's true.
He's a
That's
complete
true.
fucking
Like,
fighter.
but you know what's funny though? Somebody people, because I be having people in and Artman even knows this because we all in the group together. He said that I've seen people say Spencer's basic. I'm like, what the fuck is basic?
They
Yeah,
don't know
they'll say
shit about
Errol Spence
boxing.
is just basic.
I'm like, what the fuck is basic mean?
But it doesn't matter what they say because you can be basic, but if you have a master of the fundamentals, you'll be solidly beat everybody. Like look at Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler wasn't
Winky right.
Marvin Hagler wasn't slick by any means. Marvin Hagler was a fundamentalist by all accounts, and he wasn't very slick. But guess what?
EJ's about is fundamentals.
But guess what? 62 wins, 52 knockouts, only 3 losses, and a lot of people question the Sugar Ray Leonard L.
He got robbed in probably 2 of his fights. He got robbed.
Exactly. He was breaking niggas off, and they never been slept, ain't never been, rocked too hard, and they never been knocked out. He only got 3 L's out of 62 dubs. So you talk about basic, I'm like, basic seems to work okay.
This is the
These
thing about
niggas don't know shit about boxing. They don't know shit about boxing.
This is the thing about Spence. People want him to be a one-punch knockout artist. That is not who he is. He breaks you down.
He's a combination puncher.
Strong puncher. And he's a strong puncher. He breaks you down, but people always trying to compare. Oh, he's not this, he's not that. Well, look at what he does. I mean, and to the title art, man, I actually see Errol Spence more. If you look at just Terry Norris.
Yeah, I was just about to bring him up, bro.
Terry Norris, Winky right.
I see Terry. I see when I look at Errol Spence, I see the reincarnation of Terry Norris.
I was just about to bring him up, bro. You beat me right too. I swear to God, I'm alive.
So the style, his style, the mannerisms, the style. When I look at Sugar Ray Leonard, I kind of see Devin Haney.
Remember, y'all too, y'all. I didn't mean to cut you off, my fault, homie. But Terry Norris beat the shit out of Sugar Ray Leonard.
Well, that was an old Sugar Ray Leonard.
but you gotta remember though too. And I know Sugar Ray Leonard gets a lot of love from a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not one of them because he ducked a lot of people in his career.
Sugar Ray?
Yes, absolutely. I swear to God, I'll prove it to y'all.
Sugar Ray. Well, I want to nail down this. Huh? Okay, I wanted to nail down this point though. I wanted to nail down. Get your point, and then I'm going to name the names after you get your point through. No problem, my brother. But yeah, like I said, when I look at Errol Spence, I can close my eyes. I can see Terry Norris. When I look at Sugar Ray, I see Devin Haney doing Sugar. People try to compare Devin Haney to Floyd. I don't see any comparison at all. But his length, his style, the way his long punches, the way he throws his punches, Devin Haney. If he goes on a front foot in attack mode and it becomes aggressive with some pop, then I can say you will actually see that Sugar Ray and Haney. Other than that, like I said, when I see Errol, I see Terry Norris. And Terry Norris is underrated. I don't know why people don't talk about him the way today, but that's what I see. And
Terry Norris is one of my favorite fighters, Check.
That's because he got ducked by a lot of people. Terry Norris, not a lot of people wanted Terry Norris smoke.
Nobody wanted Terry Norris when he was in his prime.
Nobody.
But I'm gonna get to that point real quick. Oh, y'all finished?
No, I was just gonna say. I see a lot of Winky Wright and Errol Spence as well. But go ahead.
Prime Winky Wright, absolutely. Nah, but see, my thing with Sugar Ray Leonard, he was a great fighter, no question about it. But there's a lot of people there's a lot of food he left on the table. Because in my opinion, and plus I talk to people that my old heads was schooling me to this shit. Sugar Ray ducked Aaron Pryor consistently. He ducked Aaron Pryor. He ducked Julian Jackson.
Oh.
He ducked John Mugabe. He ducked John Mugabe. Y'all remember John Mugabe, Marvin Hagler beat.
He gave Marvin Hagler hell. Yeah.
John Mugabe. He ducked John Mugabe. He didn't want to fight. He really didn't want to fight Terry Norris. He was basically forced to.
He didn't want to fight at the end of his career.
I was gonna say, didn't Julian Jackson come in tour when he was damn near at his last few fights of his career?
Julian was there in his prime when Sugar Ray was in his prime. He was there.
He was.
Yes, he didn't want.
But remember, there's the one. But you.
Oh yeah, he ducked Mike McCallum. Somebody named that for me. Thank you. He definitely did duck Mike McCallum. He was scared to death of Mike McCallum.
But you got to understand, Sugar Ray had multiple layers of careers because of the retina injury and then coming back and so forth.
Yeah, that's true too.
So you got to understand. So the 147 Sugar Ray Leonard,
That was the best one to me. That was the best one to me.
That's my point.
147 one.
That's right. So when you
Yeah, 'cause
compare
Julian Jackson was at
147
middleweight.
and it's once right. So you listen. I cannot compare a 147.
Wait, what the fuck?
The best. Sugar Ray fought. You can name 5 or 6 fighters Sugar Ray beat and fought that are in the Hall of Fame right now. So
Yeah,
I will never ever think Sugar Ray ducked her. That's like when people say, and I'm gonna just nail this down real quick. People were saying Floyd had ducked what's the Paul
Margarita.
Williams, right? No, they say he,
Oh, no,
yeah,
Paul
but when
Williams?
you look, right, but this was at they say
Paul
he
Williams
did.
even
They say
confirmed that he
right,
didn't.
but. Right, but they said that he ducked people for undisputed. But you gotta understand, this was like he had one fight left. He didn't duck anybody, man. People don't put things in perspective. He went to prison and he came out. You know what I mean? And then Paul Williams lost like 2 or 3 more fights. So there was
Yeah, that's
never
what Paul
any
lost
time
to
where
Sergio.
right. So how can Floyd duck these people when he's still fighting these elite fighters? When he's still fighting people who are considered very
He
good,
came out
to
of
great,
jail
to
and
Hall
fought
of Famers?
Marquez at his peak.
They said that.
And remember that you talk about Rusty. Come on, ring rust. He fought Marquez, the same guy who eventually knocked out Pacquiao. Pacquiao had never dominated Marquez.
I
You know what I'm saying?
I thought he beat Pacquiao 3 of the 4 fights.
I agree with you. They robbed him because of the namesake, because of the cash.
I agree, especially that third fight. Oh my god, dog.
They said
Right.
Cotto.
So-
They said Cotto dubbed Triple G by fighting fucking fighting Canelo. Like it's like wait, what?
Get the fuck out of here.
Cotto has never ducked. People throw this. People toss this duck thing around when you're looking at great fight. I don't get it. Floyd never ducked anybody. Cotto certainly never
definitely
ducked
did duck
anybody.
nobody. I agree with that one.
Cotto is a warrior, and even if you know Cotto, he's a warrior. So I hate when people throw around the term duck because there's certain people who GGG is ducking the Charlos and the Andres. Canelo is on a path of least resistance duck march, duck walk. You know what I mean? So you got people who legitimately duck, and that's why when you mention Floyd or Cotto, I can't see those guys ducking. When you mention Sugar Ray Leonard, he fought the best. You know what I'm saying? Even when he lost to Duran and came back, you know what I mean? He didn't have to take that fight back, but he did. And he came out and
I agree with that. No, it's just that.
I believe the Mugabe duck though.
No, what I'm saying is though, homie, is that Sugar Ray's resume could have been even better. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's why I feel like he's left a little bit of food on the table, just a little bit. You feel what I'm saying?
Mugabe fought around the same time. Mugabe fought around the same time when he broke off Hagler. I believe the Mugabe does. I believe that one.
Like for instance, the Donnie Lalonde, that era of Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm not even a fan of that particular era of Sugar Ray. You know what I mean? The 147 Sugar Ray, I'm telling you, that's God status to me.
Yeah,
so again, there's different eras because of the injury and things that he retired and came back. You know what I mean? And you know what he did. But as far as ducking, I could never put it. Maybe you see something I did, my brother, but I have never seen Sugar Ray duck anybody. He's a warrior, win or lose. He's a warrior.
Because I'm watching like old clips with him and Aaron Pryor. His energy was never the same around Aaron Pryor. That's the only reason I'm saying that, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
I would love to have seen it, but
I seen multiple press conferences that Aaron Pryor would fucking walk in on Sugar Ray and one smoke. Like I saw that a couple of times.
Okay, but who did he? Refresh my memory. Who did he fight instead of fighting Aaron Pryor?
I gotta get back to that. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Maybe when Artman has his next joint, because I'm gonna go back and because I gotta refresh my memory. You feel what I'm saying? Because we on the go talking right now. But when Artman brings his next,
I'm just saying because I don't know. I don't know. That's why I was asking you because
I'm gonna come bring the proof because you gotta have facts. So I'm gonna come bring that next time.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is if he fought a high caliber fighter instead of Aaron Pryor, you say, oh, he fought this guy who ended up being a legend or end up Hall of Fame, then that would definitely
no, you got a point with that. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I'm gonna keep it on it with you. You got a point with that. If that happened, because like I said, I'm gonna go back and do my studying. But if that happened, then I'm gonna lay off of that. because that's just like the same thing we doing with Spence and Ugas.
Man, let me tell you something.
Well, Spence is gonna fight Crawford. They just gotta wait.
This is what pisses me off. Crawford has only had 6 fights at 147. Spence had basically a 2-year layoff because of his car accident, and then he came back and fought Danny, and then an eye injury. So you talk about 2 years of his boxing career that's been on hold. What has Bud done since then? Now, I'm not picking on Bud. I know some people don't like Bud, whatever the case may be. I think he's a great fighter, but his highest caliber of his highest fight, his biggest fight in his career was against Porter. Now, if that is your biggest, and that wasn't even a championship fight and so forth,
and Spence beat him 2 years ago,
right. So my point is, I don't get it. I think it's a paid provocateur who are starting this. I think it's basically Al Heyman hate that's coming down on Spence. Spence is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He said, I'm going to clear out all the PBC belts and fight Bud for Undisputed, which would be the biggest fight in boxing. It will be historic because it will be Bud's second Undisputed and it will be Spence's first Undisputed.
Exactly.
This will be what I call the Super Bowl of boxing.
Exactly.
Right. So why would you fight the Super Bowl now and then fight the conference finals later? It doesn't make any sense. If you want to grow boxing, you need this type of stage. You need the all eyes to say number 1 versus number 2 for Undisputed. This is bigger than anything Canelo has ever done. This is bigger than anything, you know what I mean?
Canelo never had a fight of this caliber.
That's the thing. Hold up, Chet. Hey, that's the thing, Chet. It's like I always say. This going to be determine the fighter of our generation. And just like we're saying, it's going to be bigger than anything Canelo has ever done. They might not want that.
Boxing does not want that, Alan. Boxing does not want that. That's the reason why they have been discouraging it. This is the reason why they want Spence versus Bud now, because it won't be for Undisputed. See, when they have just one of them and then against a lesser opponent, whatever the case may be, but when you got the number 1 versus number 2, come on, this is big. Like I said, boxing does not want that because all of a sudden their little thing about black fighters don't sell and the Eastern Europeans dominate. That destroys that narrative because they've been building Lomachenko. He's been fighting nothing but C-level opponents, and they made him number 1 pound for pound when he was 9-1. So when you got something like Spence versus Bud for Undisputed, that wipes all that off. That's like a big tsunami comes to wipe all of that fake shit out of the way. They do not want that. You know why? Because they still trying to build their economic engine around someone other than a black American fighter because they want to duplicate what Floyd had, but you'll never duplicate that because it's a false narrative what you're trying to do. You're putting people in places who haven't earned it. Like what's the Japanese guy
anyway.
Yeah. So I'm not saying he's not a good fighter, but when you call somebody a great and you put him on your pound for pound list ahead of Earl, when you had him there, but I can't listen. I'm sick of it.
That nigga just fought on Tuesday.
Nobody even knew.
At like
going up for the Tuesday because again, and it's substandard opponents. That's the reason why they want Earl versus Bud now and not for Undisputed. Go ahead, my fellas.
That nigga had his pro debut in a prison. I was like, oh, hell no. I know they ain't talking shit about Tank. This nigga fought on a Tuesday at like 7:30 in the morning. I clocked in for work and I cut that shit on. I was like, let me see this bullshit. And of course he watched dude, but dude was nobody. But I have a question about Errol Spence. What y'all think the public reaction would have been like if Errol Spence came back from the car wreck fighting Green Bean?
They would have been ripping him.
I'm just.
And I ain't gonna lie. I was one of the people who told EJ to take a tune up, just to get get your feet wet again. But he took Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia was his tune up. Danny Garcia was his tune up.
I knew he would watch Danny, so I was like, go ahead and get his ass out the way, so we don't have to.
He took a top 5 welterweight.
And Earl said he wasn't even 80% of himself. Earl said, I'm not myself. And he still did what he did. I'm telling you, people better put respect on his name. This is the thing about it. You know the hate is false and fabricated against Earl because he fights everybody. How can you say he ducking Bud? Then who has Bud ducked if Sean Porter was his highest caliber fighter?
And EJ beat him 2 years ago.
So have y'all done the research on his
strength and one-sided argument?
Like the fit to box people, because people have been talking about Blu-ray, but have y'all looked up the fit to box people? Are they cool?
I don't know anything about any of that.
No, I
So
haven't seen it.
even with Blu-ray, I've
No, I haven't seen
never studied his strength and
Well,
conditioning. I see this Blu-ray guy getting a lot of publicity right now,
Well,
but
because Alan, you linked the video to his road to undisputed, and his strength and condition appears to being handled by these fit to box people. And I watched the videos. I was just like, did anyone know about them? Are they cool? Have they had a history with somebody besides Errol Spence, or is Errol Spence giving them their first little shine?
I think EJ just giving them a little bit of shine, but honestly, I think he's doing both. I think he's working with both of them. He's working with them and he's working with Blu-ray because Blu-ray still communicates with them.
One thing I love.
Because I be talking to I talk to Blu-ray more than a few times when I'm on different channels, and he, Blu-ray still plugged in with him. So
one thing I love about Blu-ray is that he video. One thing I love about Blu-ray is that he doesn't record anything.
Facts.
He records nothing. You get to see nothing. You just get to see Errol Spence whoop ass. Like people don't remember that before Conor Benn, the only other person to stop Chris Algieri with one fucking punch was Errol Spence.
Yeah, Errol Spence stopped him. Yeah, that's
just
it.
One glancing left hook.
And everybody else was going he was going 12 with everybody else.
Yeah, one little fucking glancing left hook, and the referee was like, "Oh hell no, cut this shit off. You're finna get destroyed."
Nah, but my whole thing is though, like who's that? I'm trying to see what his name is. Like, cause he brought up a lot of shit that made me think, like, damn, like, yo, the hate on EJ really is real.
Who?
Like, cause fucking he's doing me? Huh? No, the guy that's under me. I'm trying, like the one I was talking to about Sugar Ray Leonard.
That's Checkmate.
Oh, Checkmate, that's the name. All right. Nah, so I'm gonna subscribe to your channel after we done because you look like you got some good shit. But my whole thing is though, like the disrespect that EJ gets is fucking ridiculous. Now that I'm even more thinking about it, I thought about it before, but now I'm like, hold up, this nigga fighting everybody. What the fuck? Hold up.
Earl has never ducked anybody. The hate that it's manufactured. Listen, it's propaganda. It's propaganda just to put a negative spin. It's like when you can't. And I made this post the other day. I had this fireman looking at a fire, and I was like, "This is Bud's fans. When you can't have your way, you just want to burn boxing down." You know what I'm saying? So this is something that it's an orchestrated event. Like for instance, I think Eddie Hearn when they started, all of a sudden, I think it was after what's his name? Andre. After Andre won his last fight, on cue, you had certain people say Andre Charlo, right? It was on cue pushing that, you know what I mean? Because again, people get paid to push these narratives, you know what I mean? And they're usually, these narratives are pushed by certain promoters. Now, with this thing regarding trying to sully and soil Earl's good name, it's all about Al Heyman. It's all about pay-per-view. It's all about not getting people to watch. These people pass out free links all the time. They talk about the pay-per-view numbers, but then I've seen Michael Montero and all these guys talk about links. There's a link here. There's a link there. So they actually tell their crowd to watch it for free instead of paying for it, and while they bring it down so they can say, oh, he didn't sell this, he didn't sell that. So this is nothing but a false narrative going around. Like, how do you put Errol Spence's name dirty? It doesn't make any sense. There's no logic to it. You know what I mean? These are the same people who don't even watch Bud for the most part. Because
Bob don't watch Bud fight.
Bob sabotages for their purpose.
I like Bud.
I like him too. He's a great fighter.
But listen, the thing is though, like, why y'all telling people to boycott a fight when y'all don't even pay for his fight?
Man, the first of all, let me get this boycott. If someone calling a boycott Earl versus Ugas 3-belt unification, then if you're calling for that, then you're not a true boxing fan. You're some paid provocative agitator, provocateur, whatever you want to make be. You're not even for boxing. What if you choose not to pay for a pay-per-view or watch a particular fight, that's a personal choice. Nobody would bother you. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy every pay-per-view, but I don't ever come on and say I'm not like the Charles Martin fight. I'm not paying for that. But I'm not telling anybody else. I'm not saying because I'm not interested in it. I'm not telling people to boycott it.
I'm not. I haven't even shared.
That's actually
saying,
going to be
"I'm
a
gonna
pretty
boycott this and
hot
boycott
card
that."
to be quite honest.
I like
It's gonna be pretty hot.
I like Frank Sanchez, but I don't know. For me, it's listen, brother. I'll watch the highlights on YouTube right after the fight go off. That's the way I look at this particular situation. But my point is this: it's a personal choice. I didn't bash anybody. I didn't say this. Don't do this. It's a personal choice. But when you say boycott Earl versus Ugas because Earl is ducking Bud, that lets me know there's a hidden agenda. You know what I mean? There's a hidden agenda. People getting paid money for this agenda. And this is all about pay-per-view. This is all about bringing down Al Heyman. There's a bigger picture to it. Because, again, I didn't say bash Bud because he fought Eagles. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say bash Bud because he fought all these guys' names you can't pronounce or all these guys' names you never heard. I didn't say any of that. You know what I'm saying? So with this is an anti-Al Heyman, anti-PPC. It has very little to do with Earl. Very little. Because if this was the case, all this they're doing all this complaining now because he's not fighting, Earl's not fighting Bud, then why didn't they do all this complaining when Bud was fighting no names? I don't get it.
Real shit.
It doesn't make any sense.
But they were saying people were ducking Bud. And then I proved that wrong because I was actually around Danny Garcia when that offer was made, and Danny was like, "Yo, I fought bums for $3 million. I'm not fighting on the nigga platform, and I'm getting less money than American. A nigga I knocked the fuck out.
Right?
He told me this.
Right?
At one of his parties, Terrence Philly.
He
told me this.
Right?
And then people
say that they can't answer you.
But then I gave them word for word what Danny said, literally every word, and then nobody had a rebuttal because I fucking told the. And then they put it out that Danny ducked $3 million. Like Danny fought Rod Saka for $3 million. He hasn't fought for less than three. He hasn't fought for $3 million or less since 2015, 2016.
No, they tried to pay him $1 million. They tried to the first go around. They tried to pay Porter $1 million. This is all them lowballing all these guys to get them on the
Porter
platform.
wakes up out of his bed and makes $1 million.
Absolutely. So if they don't fight for that money, you can't fault somebody for fighting for being underpaid their value. You got to understand, Bud's two biggest, highest paydays were against Porter and Amir Khan. These are two ESPN non-top ranked fighters that had to elevate his pay because they demanded more. Don't blame, you know what I mean? So, you know.
And I heard that Khan got more than Bud.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Khan got like $7 million, Bud got $5.5 million.
Yeah, because he got the extra two from the UK pay-per-view buys.
I always ask this. I go, okay, so the prevailing theory is everybody just ducking. Okay, cool. So let's go back to what Crawford recently said. Crawford recently said that Bob Arum was the primary reason that he couldn't get the fights made. And I always just ask Bud fans, is Terrence Bud Crawford? I always just ask Bud fans this: is Terrence Bud Crawford a liar? Yes or no? Is he a liar or not? And usually it's well, because the thing is, if he is a liar, then why the fuck are we listening to anything that Bud says? And if he's not a liar, then nobody's ducking.
That's real shit.
Listen, the fact of the matter is people are mad because Earl Spence had a plan, and he's following through with his plan. Get all the PBC belts, then fight Bud for Undisputed. Don't fault Earl Spence because Bud's career was sabotaged by, you know what I mean, by the Bob Mafia. You know what I mean? Spence is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. So he's not taking a lesser opponent. He's taking the opponent who is a champion who just retired, Manny Pacquiao, who actually, in my estimation, beat Sean Porter. So
he whooped Sean Porter.
Right. So
he controlled the shit out of Sean Porter better than, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Not to get off subject, but he controlled Sean Porter better than Spence and Crawford did.
Well, and that's true. It was two different styles. Sean Porter did not fight Crawford or Ugas aggressive the way he fought Spence. You know what I mean? He was kind of tactical, very tactical against Ugas because of his length. You know, and Ugas
he couldn't get around Ugas' jab.
He couldn't. He's a very strong guy. Ugas is physically big, strong guy, and Porter was very, very cautious against him. Versus Crawford.
Go ahead.
I mean, Okay, versus Crawford, Sean Porter actually said, you know what I mean. I didn't have a good camp. I didn't go through the fire. You know what I mean. And listen, the guy, he was doing his commentating. He was contemplating retirement after the Earl Spence. He did not fight. He said, I did not give the old school Sean Porter. He said, I was trying to save it to the end of end of the fight, whatever the case may be. So remember, Bud only landed 93 punches on him. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, for real?
You know, only 93 punches.
Shit.
Yeah.
I thought
He wasn't throwing most of the fight. He was too busy on his toes and clinching.
If you got, if you got Twitter, my brother, I'll go ahead and send you. I'll send you a clip I made of that kind of points that out. But Sean Porter actually said again. He said, I wasn't myself. I wasn't the old school. I was trying to preserve to the energy. 'Cause, I didn't know if I gave everything at the beginning, if I wouldn't have it at the end. It was a very cautious fight, but even so, I still had him. The muted Sean Porter, I had him winning at the time of the stoppage. That the time, and it isn't like he got knocked out. KP, did that. Kenny Porter's the one who stopped that fight. You know what I'm saying? You seen what Fury got knocked down twice and got up and ended up winning.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So again, Wilder had got knocked down, came back, and round after round and the things of that nature. You just don't give up because and he got right up. So you got to
Sean
look
Porter
at the
was
version
fun.
of. You got to look at the versions of Sean Porter and what he gave. The version of Sean Porter that fought Errol Spence would have dominated. But this is my opinion. I think Bud's a great fighter, but his styles make fights. He would not be able to handle that pressure because he did not handle the pressure when Porter was giving him the pressure. He was on the back foot. He was flipping jabs, moving, trying to get out of the way. But when Porter caught up to him, he caught up to him. You know what I mean? When Porter, when Bud hit him and he put him down, Porter was swinging wild hooks, head down, and you know what I mean. And so he used his momentum to get him down because when he was coming forward, he leaned straight into a straight shot, and that's actually how he went down. So he actually used Sean's blind aggression against him.
But I know the biggest issue. For a lot of Bud fans is the money, and I hate talking about it, but I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. If y'all really concerned about the man's percentage, like I said, talk to Bernie, talk to Bernie, talk to Bo Mac, and just cash app the nigga the difference. That's all y'all gotta do. Get together and just cash app him the difference so we can get the fight. It's that simple.
I don't really care about any of the people who talk about percentages. They don't really mean that. They're just doing. Again, these are agitators, provocateurs. They're not even caring about it. They're just looking for something to argue about because the percentages mean nothing for a fight that's not even in negotiations at this point.
The thing is that if they didn't care about the money like they said they would just tell Bud to take whatever percent and let's get this fight going.
And then cash app him the rest. That's all you gotta do. Just cash app the nigga.
And he never committed to taking the 40%, so I don't want to hear that shit.
But the fight is not in negotiation
his way. He's still talking about it needs to be his way.
But the fight is not even in negotiation. So why are people talking about percentages? This is the whole point. It doesn't make any sense. Errol Spence has never ducked anybody. Now you guys say he's ducking him because he don't want to give him a certain amount of money.
He's ducking him for a guy that a lot of people was, and I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. A lot of people was ducking guys.
Listen, this is going to be a high level fight. It's supposed to be challenging.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be competitive. Errol Spence may win by 1 round. He may win by 2 rounds, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. It's supposed to be a high level fight. So even if he loses, guess what? Ugas earned it because he's that type of fighter.
He's that type of fighter.
Get this. This is not a walk in the park. You know what I mean?
Sure ain't. Ugas is a fucking beast.
Absolutely. The only thing, like I said, Errol Spence, remember what? I go back to the 1,082 punches thrown against Mikey Garcia. I go back to that, his multiple, the dynamics of his skill set that he could bring to the table. And I've never seen Ugas take or throw that amount of punches. So to me, I think
that
by
work rate
attrition,
might be a lock for Ugas. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You guys,
it's gonna be a lock for Ugas, and it's gonna be a lock for Bud. That's the reason why if Earl go to that, I'm telling you, Ugas is going. His arms are going to be weary. He's going to be tired. The guy look like he's probably going to come in the ring weighing 165 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like he struggles to get down to that weight, like most fighters do. You know what I mean? They the cutting weight is not easy, but I think Earl can outwork him, and you know what I mean. It's going to be a beautiful fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Earl outworks
Yeah.
all his opponents. Check. Earl outworks all his opponents. So it's gonna be a great fight, like you said, and I'm just ready to see it because I don't understand how
Same here,
you
man.
can complain about Earl is getting us closer to undisputed with Bud.
Exactly. Thank
That's what you
you.
niggas
Thank
say
They
they
you.
don't
want.
want undisputed.
Thank you,
They
bro.
don't
Like,
want
no, cause
undisputed.
that's been my whole thing the whole fucking time. Like, bro, why would you not want Bud and Spence for undisputed? What?
That's an
The
event.
fuck is you talking about?
That's
What are
the
we talking
biggest
about here?
event.
Like,
Earl,
even
look,
like
Earl,
I'm telling you, Artman don't fucking vouch for me with this. I'm like, yo, what are y'all talking about? That type of fight with Bud and Spence is supposed to be for undisputed, for all the marbles.
Earl versus Bud for undisputed is going to be the biggest fight since Floyd versus Pacquiao.
Facts.
It's the biggest fight since Floyd. That was an event. This is the thing you built
Gonna be the
fight
same thing
cards
with that
around
one.
us. Absolutely, because no people. Oh, now I hear people saying it's only going to be 300, 400,000. I say, but are you going to watch it? Yeah. So how are you going to undersell a fight that you're claiming that you're going to watch? You know what I mean? For undisputed, this is not just for the regular fight. Or this is for the Super Bowl of boxing. Listen, when you think about Bud's undisputed, you don't even talk about Uganda.
Fuck no.
Idango. We don't even know who that dude. I don't even know where he is. I haven't even
He
seen
got
any
the
more.
shit beat out of him after Bud.
Right. I don't know anything about that guy. When you talk about
Dongo was a southpaw like Spence, remember?
and when you talk about Canelo's undisputed.
Oh my
And
god.
when you talk about Canelo's undisputed, you're not going to think about that. You know, Plant versus Plant. Yeah, Plant is a good fighter. You know what I mean? I thought Plant was going to win just because he was bigger, and I thought he was going to outbox him. He was winning before whatever happened. But the thing about it is, you're not going to remember that 10 years from now. You're not going to remember undisputed. What's his name? Josh Taylor's undisputed 10 years from now. You know what?
Let me tell you, checkmate.
What you will remember forever. Bud versus Spence for undisputed will go down in history.
Let me tell you, checkmate.
Glory. Yes,
Checkmate. I was born in 1995, right? It is 2021. You know what I did today? I went back and watched Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns for the very first time. And before I watched it, I read the bio on the fight, the year it took place, and all that. And I was amazed. I was like, man, I always heard about the fight. I always heard about it. You know why I always heard about it? Because I heard it was such a great fight. Then I watched it, and it's exactly, but even more, what the people said it was. Do you think people when was that fight again? In the 80s?
It was the 80s. Yeah. It was in the 80s.
Yeah, it was in the 80s.
Fight?
Right?
I think it was 84. I think.
No, it was 80. It was 81 because didn't he get a TK? Didn't he get a TK on round 14?
I don't know if it was that early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sugar Ray got the TKO.
40 years from now, do you think people are going to be looking up Canelo versus Plant?
No.
Hell no.
No.
That's my point. You think they're gonna remember Usyk's undisputed? But guess what?
No.
That's why I said
No.
Spence versus Bud for undisputed will be historical and legacy like Hearns versus Leonard.
Niggas gonna be arguing about that from today all the way to the retirement home. Gonna be
Our
75
grandkids
talking
gonna
about.
talk about that.
Yep.
We saw a crown. We saw somebody earn a crown, and people don't want that. We want that now. We need it now. And you know what they say? Well, suppose Spence getting another accident. I don't give a shit about you supposing. Stop being negative Nancy. Look for greatness. Aspire for these great fights where you can tell your grandkids about. I'm looking forward to that because I know it's going to be fireworks. I know it's going to be greatness. And again, for the undisputed, and this is going to be undisputed as well as your mythical pound for pound, number one. This is going to be an all-time great battle of attrition. I know who I'm picking to win, but it doesn't matter who I'm picking to win. I want to see the fight.
Now check this out.
I want to see the fight for undisputed. And not until
Have y'all been hearing things like this? Oh, when Bud fight Errol, he just going to target his eye.
Okay.
He gonna target his eye.
He's supposed to. He's supposed to target the eyes and everything else. It's fucking boxing, bro. You're supposed to aim for the fucking face. What the fuck?
It's like they're hoping that Errol is not complete in that fight. That's crazy,
You
man.
know what, man?
They
You know what,
do. They
man?
want to get Earl
That's
at a
what I
time
mean.
where they think he's vulnerable.
Listen, but this is the thing, y'all. This is what they're telling me. I had so many people tell me, what Spence fighting Ugas now, we may not get Bud versus Spence because Spence is hurt and he's coming off his accident, his injury, and Ugas might beat him. I'm saying, so you guys want Bud to fight the injured Earl. You don't want Bud to fight the Earl that beats Ugas and is in prime condition. You want to fight the injured Spence. Make that make sense to me, people. Please.
It ain't making sense at all.
Hold on. They definitely don't. And then
They don't
okay,
sound confident. And I talked to a lot of them. They don't.
I heard you guys talking about.
Only one word
Hold on,
gets
can you guys hear
Bud
me?
fans.
I hear you.
Hold on.
Only one word gets Bud fans worried, and that word is boots.
Not even that too. It's just like a lot of times when I hear these Buck fans talk, it's always something like, well, what if Spence loses? Well, what if Spence, blah 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 blah. Like y'all were saying, they want to get Spence at a bad time. They don't think that Bud can beat Spence convincingly. And because I'm just like, it's like I'm saying these dudes aren't Bud fans. Because if they were, they would buy his pay-per-views.
Bud
Can I
fans
bring this
talk
up as
more
well?
about.
Let me bring something up as well. The reason why I like the Errol Spence and Sugar Ray comparison, not saying that they fight alike or anything like that, but I'm starting to get, I've seen some similarities where they think Errol Spence is like a pretty boy who basically got some type of past on his way up. It wasn't a hard way up. It was just, he just got everything handed to him because I guess he's the better looking guy.
They mad because Spence getting more bitches than everybody. What the fuck? What the fuck is
Yeah,
going on?
literally.
Oh, no,
Like,
no, yo, no, Art, no, look, no, I didn't mean to cut you off. Art man will tell you this, yo. I'm in one of the groups that we in. Somebody said some negative shit about Spence being around 3 bitches. I'm like, damn, well, hold up. I didn't know being around 3 good-looking bitches was a problem.
yeah, look
Spence
at him
gets
hanging
more
out with
pussy.
women. Wow,
Spence gets more
Bud and
pussy
Jim
than
are
us.
all bros working out, working hard.
And Bud wife is a healthy big old country girl, and Spence is around all them sexy ass modern women. It's bullshit.
Yo, I swear to God, dog. I was like, yo, I'm done, man. That's why I stopped on a lot of that shit, bro. That was just weird, yo. I didn't know being around sexy bitches was a problem.
Oh my god, these soft ass niggas. Oh my
And
god.
by the way, I think Bud's wife is nice looking too, though. By the way,
Yeah, no, Bud wife is beautiful, but you know how niggas think like, oh,
Let me
Spence
say this.
getting all this pussy. It doesn't make any sense.
Let me say this, guys. The fact that these motherfuckers are talking about boycotting Earl versus Ugas, but y'all will sit here and let Ken Bussies duck Devin Haney. Y'all sit here and let the WBC disrespect all these fighters. Y'all sit here and let Canelo do whatever the fuck he wants to, but y'all won't boycott that shit. Y'all want to boycott
I'm
another black
boycotting.
man
No,
because he's choosing his own path.
y'all.
I'm not talking about you,
like,
T. No, T, I ain't talking about you. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about these motherfuckers talking about that boycott.
I ain't even worried about that, but I will tell you the truth, though. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. If Lomachenko and Kambosos fight, I'm boycotting. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Because I don't want to see that shit. Lomachenko don't offer nothing. He don't offer nothing. What the fuck does he offer?
Okay. I told his ass today on Twitter. I at him. I said, George Gambussy, take your ass back down under. Leave this place. I don't even want to see you again if you're not fighting Devin Haney.
He's turning
Go
into
back to
he's
Australia.
turning
I
to
don't give a
Teofimo.
fuck what you do. What you
I
like.
don't understand. He's turning. He's getting the and I like his energy. I like his spunk. I actually picked him to beat Teofimo, as you guys know.
I did too.
So, but I don't.
Yeah, anticipation for him to fight Devin Haney.
Right. But listen, I want him. But I don't. Now he's talking about Devin Haney need to sell his jewelry to this and that. I don't like that talk. I don't like because that has nothing to do with boxing. You know what I mean? It's about the best fighting the best.
Shit, man.
It was about the best fighting the best. Now George Gamboa talking shit, say I'm gonna beat this, I'm the king, I'm the baddest. But when you start getting into narratives like that, you sound like Teofimo. Teofimo won he was a 15-0 prospect. He beat an overrated 15-2, 11 knockout, overrated hype job Loma, who I actually picked Teofimo to win, and I won some money off of that fight as well.
I won money off Teofimo too.
So,
keep it on it.
And I picked him because I know Styles makes fights. Loma has the better boxing skills, but I didn't think he would be able to handle that strength and the size, and he wasn't going to be able to bully him. So I figured there's no way he's going to make it through it because he's been fighting all this. Luke Camp, come on, bro. So my point is this: George Kambosos, I like your energy. Bring it to 135. Yes. But when you start talking down, and if you fight Lomachenko, who's already lost, then you're telling people you don't want to fight the best. You're telling people that I'm going backwards because all of a sudden, because now I'm going to go ahead and put these guys on the no black fighters list. You know what I mean? The MBF list. So if you're doing that, brother, you're taking a step backwards. Stop insulting people about jury and this and that, and tell them what they bring to the table. You know what I mean? As I recall, 4,000 people showed up to your fight. So it's not like you're filling the seats.
The moment Kambosos,
all the niggas except Tank.
The moment Kambosos told us that he was sticking around to scout out other fights, I smelled duck sauce. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck you sticking around for? Isn't Devin Haney the only fight that makes sense right now?" I was like,
"Why didn't he go to Tank's dressing room? Why didn't he go to Tank's dressing room? Usually fighters like that, like, hey, they congratulate him personally, whatever. Hey, let's get it on. He never did that. I saw in the crowd when Tank was leaving, Tank was going through the tunnel, and Kambosos just looked over there. He never called his name. He never waved. He's nothing. He was like, I don't know. Like, and then he gonna say, well, Tank didn't put on a great performance. The nigga dominated with one hand. He beat a very rough and tough Cruz, who I told you guys was going to be like Castano for Tank. And I also told you guys, and I also said, don't be surprised if this fight goes to distance. I said this before the fight. So my thing is, he did that, but he with one hand he beat 8-4. The way I scored it, he won 8 rounds to 4 with one hand with a broken hand. And you're going to talk shit about that, Kambosos?
Well, it's like this. It's like what I said. Kambosos is nothing. Kambosos is nothing to Tank. Kambosos not gonna get access to Tank dressing room.
Well, he should. I mean, all these other fighters get the same type of access. You know what I mean? When they want to congratulate a fighter and make a fight. You know what I'm saying? It's about respect. He will be showing Tank respect.
No, you know what's crazy though, y'all?
This is like why? That name.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead, bro. My fault.
This is why I came up with that name, Kambosos, because he's selling wolf tickets.
Or George Fraud Boses.
Listen,
I call him Kambosos because it has a better ring to it.
He's probably
he's selling wolf tickets. He knows what fight's gonna get him the most money. He knows what fight's gonna be for legacy. He knows. He can go to Australia with Devin Haney. You're not going to Australia with Tank.
Or Lomachenko.
Go for that.
Well, he'll make the most money fighting Tank. He'll get Undisputed versus Devin. He'll make the most money versus Tank and the biggest profile versus Tank. Either fight, if he fight Tank or Devin, I'm fine. But I did say, for me, my dream would be Tank versus Devin Haney for Undisputed. So I kind of lean towards, again, if he fights Tank next and Tank gets the belt and then Tank fights Devin Haney for Undisputed, that's my dream. But if he fights Devin Haney for Undisputed now and then Devin still fights Tank, that's whatever the case may be. So either way, but to bring Lomachenko up in this conversation after he fought two retreads. He fought Nakatani and Comey. Neither one of them to me are even top 8. At 135, and they were all overblown.
Kobe was. I'm like, what?
They're not famous for anything but losing. All they're famous for is fucking losing. That's all they're famous for.
Richard Comey fought. He won a belt in his 30th fight because he was fighting in Africa and fighting for the Europe and things of that nature. And fought Bacon, and he lost it 2 fights later to a 14-0 prospect named Teo. Okay, so when Loma fought Teo's 2 retreads, that told me he's not reaching for greatness because he could have called out Tank. He could have called out Devin.
He does his little fake call-outs. That's all he does, bro. He does fake call-outs because he don't really want to fight Tank. Because he know Tank gonna knock his fucking block off.
He could have fought Tank. He never tried it.
They
He
tried to
could have
call
fought
Tank
Tank
out when
after he
Tank was a
lost.
prospect.
Exactly.
He only called Tank out when he was a prospect. Seriously.
Listen, not only that, the bigger picture is this, right? They called Tank out when he was a prospect, right? But you know what the thing about the Floyd and what they're doing is smart? They said, you know what, we're going to build a brand. Because if Tank would have fought Lomachenko at that particular time, would he made, what, $1 million? So now Tank is running the show. If he fight Lomachenko on pay-per-view, Tank can make 15, 20 million or more. So, or 30 million. So the point is, Floyd did the right thing. Like, why you guys want me to fight the best fights for Tank when you guys still talking about he ain't nothing? He ain't on your pound for pound list. He ain't doing nothing. Tank.
About to say y'all disrespect him anyway.
Right, exactly. So now the Tank is the cash cow, bona fide. When superstars come out on a Sunday night, and he packed the Staples Center with 16,000 people on a Sunday, that lets you know we don't care what you think, media. We don't care about your racist beliefs. We don't care about your, talking down on black fighters, this and that, because Tank has an organic crowd. He fought against a replacement, and they came out. And who came out against Lomachenko? Who came out against these guys? Who came out against
Lomachenko?
Yeah, and Kambosos versus Teo. They fought in the Hulu Theater underneath the Madison Square Garden in front of 4,000. Loma did 8,000 in a six, and did less than 50% in the big building of Madison Square Garden. So again, Tank Davis is that star, not only in his money power as far as the money is concerned, but when he gets in the ring, he performs. He performs every time he make it exciting. So he fought with a broken hand for 6 rounds, dominated the guy, and when I say dominated, meaning it wasn't as close as people thought it was. He was playing the matador to the bull, and when I said dominate, meaning he won 8-4. It wasn't like it was it wasn't a close. It wasn't I'm gonna give it a draw. People were saying Tank actually lost that fight.
Tank did not lose that fucking fight.
My biggest question though is that Bud fans seem to be more concerned with Spence's career than actual Spence fans. So here's what I want to know: while Spence is doing all of this, who exactly should Bud Crawford be fighting?
This is what I heard.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I heard Keith Thurman in July. That's what I heard.
I know his thirsty ass won a Bud fight.
Well, that was supposed to be the fight. Barrios was supposed to be a tune-up for Thurman, that's what it is. I think Barrios is going to win. So there's I'm not because I think
Barrios ain't no pushover.
No, the Keith Thurman is the more skillful fighter and is proven fighter, but he's coming off a long layoff, injuries, and a marriage. You know what I'm saying? So now he's laying in that you know what I mean? He's laying in that nest, and he's all lovey-dovey. To me, this is just he's getting his nest egg. I don't see Keith Thurman having more than 3 more fights left in his professional career.
Oh, I know.
So I think
one big payday.
Right. I think Bud is going to be his cash out fight.
He don't even want to fight Barrios. He wanted to just come back and fight Spence off top, and Spence was like, "Nigga, what? Hell no."
He just getting that cash out. To me, listen, don't be surprised if Barrios win. I'm just saying people underestimate Barrios, but
that's why I asked who should Bud be fighting while all this bullshit is happening. They talking about, well, Spence is fighting this person. Spence should fight all these people. Okay, cool. Who should Bud fight? While Spence is doing all the work you claim he should or shouldn't be doing, what the fuck is Bud doing? Sitting on his fucking hands?
I told, listen, y'all might, I think, I don't know if it was you, D-Hive, I said this too, but people saying they want Bud to fight Boots. To me, listen, I'm taking the easy way out. I said I want Bud to fight somebody. You know what I mean? He can fight somebody with a name, but he don't need to fight he don't need to fight Boots because he will risk losing that undisputed opportunity.
Huge risk.
I want him to fight. Right. I don't want that. I want him to fight somebody credible so he can go ahead and display his skill on a high level. But I don't want Boots.
That's why I don't mind.
You should fight Virgil Ortiz.
He can fight Virgil Ortiz, but I don't want Boots. Boots will beat him. He will lose the Boots.
That's why I say I don't mind the Keith Thurman fight.
It is.
I don't think Virgil defense is suspect to me.
Virgil doesn't move his fucking head.
Virgil's suspect with defense to me, yo. I like Virgil. They will.
It's not gonna go
On
to
the
distance,
zone.
bro.
On the zone. Absolutely. If he fought Virgil Ortiz, it would be on the zone. And we know how they like to go ahead and rig stuff, like you said, and get them belts. And
But
you
it's
know what I
not.
mean?
It
So
wouldn't go the
that would be
distance
a
though.
risky proposition. That would be a risky proposition on multiple levels. So they're not going. That fight's not going to have. That's why I never even
Yo,
talked
you
about
know
it.
what I was thinking
But the
about, y'all?
Boost fight is.
Yo, you know what I was
But the
thinking about,
Boost.
y'all? You know what I was thinking about, and I just thought about that shit. Now that Check bringing up some points, where the fuck is Bud gonna go at? Like, I just thought about that shit. Like, who's gonna pay for him?
They're gonna complain about Earl is what they're gonna do.
No,
Why he
I'm
fights
just
easy
being
touch.
completely honest, y'all. Like, I understand, like, and like I said, I don't mind the Keith Thurman fight. I don't mind that fight at all. But my thing is though, like, if you talking shit about PBC, because you have to go over there and fight Spence if that's what you want, if that's what you really want. And then because Eddie Hearn said he don't want him. Eddie said he don't want it because he don't bring in no money. And you can't. What you gonna do? Go back to Bob so Bob can try to rob you against Josh Taylor?
If he go back to if he resign with Top Rank, bro, oh my god.
Oh no! If he goes back to Top Rank, I'm ripping him apart. I'm serious.
That's
He already Bob Arab
straight duck sauce.
Bob Arab already said things like he'll sign Terry for a 1-fight deal against Josh.
Oh my god, he bet not. This nigga, I swear to God.
Listen,
yo, I ain't gonna lie, and I've been a Bud fan since he's been out forever. But if he goes back to Bob, I will officially turn in my Bud fan card.
Well, who is he going to fight over there? There's nobody for him to fight over there. His best bet is to fight
Josh Taylor.
some
That's
PBC
it.
fighter.
Well,
that's it. I would, if he fought
Josh Taylor is
I
with
would watch that fight.
MTK anyway. He just fights on fucking Top Rank.
Yeah.
If he fought Josh Taylor, I would definitely watch that fight, Bud versus Josh. But it ain't gonna happen. But Taylor got a fight coming up, so that's Bud need to have a fight coming up now while doing Earl fight, during the time Earl. But
that's why
so it needs to be right. Sorry, so if he fights, listen, he doesn't have to fight with you.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No. I mean, no. I'm sorry. Hold up. That's not what I meant. I see they're saying you don't have to go over to PBC and talk with Al Heyman to get the fight made. That's what.
My point is this. Listen, you guys. My point is this. The biggest platform for him to get right now is a PBC pay-per-view on Fox or Showtime. Period. So if you want to get the eyes on you, you want to make that fight and build up that fight for Earl, for Undisputed. You fight a PBC fighter. It could be Danny Garcia. It could be whoever. And I don't care. Make sure it's somebody credible because that's where you're going to get the most money that you've ever made, and you're going to put yourself, get that people salivating for Undisputed versus Earl. That's the biggest logical choice. It doesn't have to be a one fight, one off on PBC pay-per-view, and you're good. Or Fox free, whatever you want to do.
And since you that nigga, I mean, you can just go ahead with Earl. You can sign a little 3-fight deal, win or lose, and if you lose, you can break off some lower tier motherfuckers and be on about your way. People make it seem like Showtime isn't a viable option when fucking retired Mayweather and the Paul brothers over there cleaning up shop. So but I was just curious about who and what he's supposed to be doing all this time because I understand everyone's I understand everyone's argument about the boot situation.
As we speak right now, y'all. As we speak right now, Bud's out in the cold.
Yeah, he's promotionally homeless.
And he doesn't have a jacket on.
Oh
well, all he has to do is fight somebody credible. All he has to do fight somebody credible on a PBC platform where he can get the most views. Don't go fight on an app. Why would you fight somebody on an app that ain't been doing nothing for anybody anyway?
Canelo even let the motherfuckers.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think that the fight's gonna happen. 2022. I don't think it's gonna happen.
What? Earl Spence?
Yeah, the Spence Crawford. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Spence. I think it happens.
It's gonna happen.
It should happen. There's no reason not to happen.
It's gonna happen. I'm very, very confident it's gonna happen.
This was Spence's plan from the beginning.
No, I'm not saying that it's gonna be Spence's fault. I'm not saying that's gonna be Spence's fault because they're already Bud fans are already greasing him up to be like, okay, but like if you go on Twitter, 50-50 or it's a duck, 50-50 or it's a duck, like shit like that. So they're already greasing him up, and y'all all know, with all due respect, I like Bud as much as the next man, but when it comes to business, how he think, He should be getting everything off top because he's fucking Bud, and that's it. He's gonna go to other promoters. He's gonna go to Spence with that bullshit. Now look, I don't care what Spence offers him. I really don't. I just want to get the fight made. But it's like my thing about it is that when the contract come down, sign and start camp. That's all the fuck I want to hear out of you. There should be no other thing.
Here's the thing too, and this is what I heard, like how PBC does their fights and their contracts on shit. All Bud had to do was say yes. That's all he had to do, and they'll split up the difference. Just agree to the fight. That's all That's all Al and the rest of them do.
Yeah, they'll make this shit work. But like I said, when Bud like hears numbers and he hears talk, he already puts himself into a position where he's gonna say no to something. He doesn't say, "Oh, we'll go sit down, we'll start negotiations." He's already saying no publicly. So I can't imagine what he's gonna be like. They actually get down to the table and start doing math in front of his ass. He's gonna be like, shit, this and that.
But D-Hop, Bud has already said publicly, no, I'm the fight is done with me. I don't want none. I don't want it. I'm moving on. Then a week later, I want Spence. Exactly. Then I don't want to spend. Now, so this is all negotiating right now. He's like the prom queen and courting everybody. Everybody want to date him. So he's just talking just to keep people talking. That's why I'm saying there's a lot of paid provocateur from people who are downing this Ugas fight when they have no leg to stand on. And this is all about Bud as well as it's more about bringing down Al Haymon. It's more about bringing down pay-per-view. It's more about getting people not to watch this pay-per-view because they're putting such a negative spin on it. People won't watch it, but they're going to free stream it and then complain about the numbers the next day. So
yeah.
So this is.
I still think Spencer Ugas going to do over 300,000 plus.
Man, I don't see why not. Listen, I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it. I am hyped for it because it's going to be a high-level chess match, and I think Spence is going to win with attrition. I need Spence to throw at least 800, 900 punches. Ugas ain't never threw them many punches, and his arm's going to fall off. So
I need Spence to shoot the uppercut some.
No, I'm going to keep it real with y'all, and this might be a surprising prediction when it comes to that fight. I think Spence is going to stop him. I'm going to be real with y'all. I think he does. Because
I see it too.
I see the hunger in EJ's eyes that I didn't even see in the Danny Garcia fight. I think the Danny Garcia fight, he was like he felt blessed.
He was on cruise control.
He felt blessed because he had the accident and all that shit. He felt blessed. You know what I'm saying? This fight with Ugas, and I already see that he's already at fight weight now. I think the fight's definitely gonna be competitive. Don't get it twisted, because I got that much respect for Ugas.
And people forget that Ugas has shown vulnerability. Like if y'all remember with the Abel Ramos fight, Ugas got wobbled in the third and the 12th. So it's like, people act like because of Pacquiao, niggas Ugas size can't put hands on him. Like, nah, man, he be getting touched up sometimes.
Nah, but I just see a different hunger in EJ's eyes that I haven't seen since probably the Mikey Garcia. The Lamont Peterson fight. Like he's hungry. Like he wants undisputed.
To his goal.
He's coming for it.
He probably tired of all this shit talking too.
That's why I feel like that. Yo, he might stop Ugas. He might.
I don't think he's gonna stop Ugas, but I think everybody he fights after Ugas is gonna probably get fucking stopped.
What I'm gonna say is
he really ready. He ready to wreck shop.
He told y'all after I get this third scrap, we're gonna see who's holding up the fight, and it's just gonna show. After this, we're gonna see if Bud really won it or not.
Yeah,
because the demands have been made, everything has been laid out. Spencer's been building his profile, been doing all the heavy lifting. He's been putting that work in.
Getting the most pay-per-views.
Listen, this is why I don't talk.
His problem is Spence gets all that pussy over there.
Listen, this is why I don't even talk about the revenue splits, because if you look at it, they both had 3 pay-per-views, right?
Yep.
Errol Spence's built a $72 million pay-per-view business off of 3 fights. Bud has $23.4 million in his 3 pay-per-views. Spence has he has over 900,000 in pay-per-view views. You know what I mean? And Bud has a little over 300,000.
I did the math too. Like it's over. It's almost it's 975.
Right.
With Spence,
almost $1 million. Right.
And literally 300K with Bud.
So my point is, there's no discussion about the splits. I don't even talk about it. It doesn't make sense. You don't say, okay, I'm going to split my business 50%. I made 72 million. I got a core audience. I'm going to split it 50% with you, who's only made 23 million. That doesn't make sense. Okay, we're talking about a business here. So that's why I don't talk about the numbers, but I just wanted to make that point. That's why I'm saying when it comes down to it, all Bud is doing is lobbying. He's lobbying to get a higher percentage. That's all it is. Because he knows he's not getting 50-50.
And the thing is, Check, I think EJ will work with him because I've also heard EJ's not that hard to negotiate with.
Yeah, EJ will probably offer him 50-50 to be real. He'll probably
this is my point. This is the thing. The point is that Bud has said 50-50. He's made no ultimatum. Well, he made an ultimatum. Not we can negotiate, not let's talk about this. It's my way or the highway. There's no debating that. No matter what you say, the facts are that this man hasn't even tried to negotiate. What is EJ gonna send over if he's already said no, I'm not gonna send you this. If no, I'm not gonna accept it. Are you gonna send somebody something that they don't want?
Alan, the point I wanted to make about the splits is this is what I think is ultimately going to walk away. I think Bud's going to get a $10 million guarantee and 40% of the pay-per-view. That's it. This fight, to me, I see it being a $100 million fight. If Fury and Wilder 2 was over a $100 million fight, this absolutely has to be a $100 million fight. So if he gets a $10 million, which will be more than he's ever made in his life, a guarantee plus 40% of the pay-per-view, he just set himself up, you know what I mean, for generational wealth. So again,
guaranteed.
And plus revenue, and
talk about $100 million fight, my brother. Right?
I don't think they're gonna offer him that much.
They're gonna listen. If Amir Khan got $7 million to fight him, you know what I mean? Come on, brother. If he just made 5.5 fighting Sean, we're talking about the number 1 versus number 2, the biggest fight in boxing, the Super Bowl in boxing, and for undisputed. Come on, bro. That's worth a $10 million guarantee.
Another thing too, Chat. Sean Porter. When they asked Sean Porter about when he fought EJ, he asked him about the money. He said, "Absolutely, the money is there when you fight Spence. Like that's the most money he ever made when he fought Spence." He said the money is there and then some, and then you get more.
Listen, this is the event. I'm talking about everybody and who is everybody. Everybody who's everybody.
This fight's even gonna bring
come out to this fight. This is a $100 million fight. So the $10 million guarantee, this you talk about what Wilder and Fury was getting. You know what I mean? Before Fury ain't nobody know Fury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
Wilder
my point
brought
is this.
That nigga back to life.
Right. No, and then even after he fought Wilder and when he ran to Top Rank and got those easy fights, he didn't do shit. Nobody came out. He was selling 3,000 tickets and giving 3,000.
No, I remember that.
You know
shit.
what I'm saying?
Nobody Wilder.
And nobody's talking about him now. So that tells you how big of a star he was. It was Wilder who's that star. So my point is this.
Thank you.
So the thing is, $10 million, yes, he's worth. If this is going to be one of the biggest fights of our generation, he deserves that. Bud deserves that $10 million guarantee. But again, 40% of that pay-per-view is still generous, but it's well deserved because this is what's going to elevate this fight. You know what I'm saying? So he will not argue about that. So right now, I think what they're arguing about is probably when they talk about that, they probably say, okay, listen, he's going to get the $10 million guarantee. I'm telling you guys, tell me when it happens, you're like, damn, that checkmate, he called it. But he's going to get at least a $10 million. He's going to get about a $10 million guarantee plus 40% pay-per-view, and that's going to be it. So that's why I don't even argue about it.
And that pushes him over. Like, cause I remember I was on BFTB's channel, and me and him did the numbers. Bud will get Bud gonna walk away with at least like he did the 40% too, along with like the guarantee. Bud would walk away with at least 25 to 28 million.
Absolutely, that's my point. That's why again with the $10 million guarantee, you're not gonna argue over pennies when it's a $100 million fight. You know what I'm saying? So
Bud arguing over imaginary money right now.
That's my point, D-Hop. They're arguing just to keep the conversation going. That I don't even entertain those talks about splits on Twitter. They're just doing it. They're keeping his name in good, all publicity, good, bad, or publicity, good or bad is publicity. And they're gonna complain about this fight with Ugas, and he's gonna fight some nondescript person, and they're gonna continue to argue about the splits. But I guarantee you, he's gonna accept once that undisputed fight is nailed, and Al Heyman says, "Here, brother, here's this 10 million guaranteed plus 40%." He's gonna say, "Where do I sign?" Nigga, you was in a slave ship with being sabotaged by the Bob Mafia for how long? And you ain't your two highest paid was for 5.5 million and 5 million. Come on, brother, you ain't gonna complain about that. If Bob couldn't do this for you, you're gonna take this. And you know what? Hello, we got to think about the rematch. We got to think about a rematch that could be even bigger. So he ain't gonna shoot himself in the foot. He gonna say he don't need Earl. Yes, he does need Earl. Is he a Hall of Famer? 100%. Buzz walks. He does the moonwalk backwards into the Hall of Fame, right? Yep. But just because again, undisputed, unblemished record, now a champion at 147. The 3 division. He walks in. That his ticket is punched. However, his money ticket is not punched. Earl is the only person that can punch that ticket for him. So he does need Spence for that. Other than that, you're gonna keep fighting for 5 million, brother. You can go over the zone, fight whatever, Eddie gonna pay you, but you ain't gonna make that money where you're gonna make off the biggest fight in boxing. So I'm looking forward to it. And he's just talking and he's getting people riled up. And if you're a Bud fan, you should not complain about him getting a 10 million guarantee and taking 40%. And if you do, I don't ever want to talk to you about boxing ever again.
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny as fuck. It's gonna be funny as fuck if Barrios fuck around there and win. Because then,
my phone getting pass out, so I gotta get ready to check out, y'all.
All right, my brother. What's your Twitter name, my brother? What's your name?
My Twitter is Latik T, but my YouTube channel is y'all see it Sports Teak. I mean Teak Sports Culture and Music. Talk about all that shit on there.
Teak, okay, on Twitter.
Yes, Teak Sports Culture and Music. So just subscribe to your brother. And Art Man. Congratulations on 1,000 subs, bro. I just saw that shit earlier.
Man, thanks, man.
Like you already know, dude. Man. Like I'm trying to get where y'all at, yo. I just started this shit.
So you just started?
Yeah, like I'm like what 60 subscribers at most. I'm still young with this shit. But I'm just now starting to take it. Drop your link.
Drop your link in the chat.
Right, drop your link in the chat, Teak.
All right, hold on. Give me a second.
I don't
even know how to do. I'm gonna be real. I don't even know how to do this shit.
It's gonna be funny as fuck if Barrios fuck around and beat Keith Thurman, because then Crawford gonna want to fight Barrios, and then Bud fans gonna defend that shit with, well, he just beat Keith Thurman, so you know that's gonna be some good shit. And then when he fucking knock out,
he take a couple times.
Yeah, and then when he knock out Barrios in like the 4th round, they're gonna be like, "Oh, see, Bud, that nigga, he deserve all this extra shit." It's just gonna be funny.
Well, I got Barrios winning only because the fact that I don't think Keith's heart is in it, just like Porter's heart wasn't in it against Crawford. Porter had his one foot out the door into retirement when he fought Crawford. He wasn't there. He didn't give he said that was his worst camp. He's told people that was the only time I didn't give it my all, everything. So, and I think with Keith, he's married, you know what I mean? He's got this new life. This is a retirement check for him. You know what I mean? So, but I think he's taking Barrios lightly. I think Barrios is going to win. That's just the way I see it. If it was a Keith who was in good shape, if it was a Keith who's had a couple of fights under his belt and it wasn't his long layoff, then I probably would pick Keith. But because of the circumstances, I'm picking Barrios.
The only reason I'm still giving Keith a shot is because he needs to win this fight to get his Bud payday. That's the only reason.
But that's the reason why the fact that he's overlooking him is another reason why he'll probably lose. Well,
I don't think Keith is overlooking Barrios.
Well, he's looking past it. He's looking for the Crawford fight. So if he's overlooking Barrios, to get to Crawford because he looked at this as a tune-up for Crawford. His mind is everybody's been talking about him. Like, what about Crawford? So that's what his mind. Let me get this Barrio kid out of here. It's sort of like with Tio, you know what I mean, overlooking Kambosos. Now I picked Kambosos because I knew Tio wasn't gonna be ready. I knew he was ill prepared. I knew he was smoking hookah, and I knew he was overlooking him. And I actually knew he was still in prospects development, and I knew his stunt was his growth was stunted because of the Loma win that he got too big headed and he forgot. Like, dude, you only had 16 fights. You have not mastered your technique. You have not fully developed your skill. So this is why I see Keith, I think he's overlooking Barrios, and I think Barrios gonna bring enough to the table.
I honestly hope he does because that's gonna put Bud in a tough position. Because it's like, do you fight Barrios or even worse, if you fight Keith Thurman off of Barrios' loss? Oh my god! if you fucking fight Keith Thurman because of the potential pay-per-view off of a Barrios L, bruh, Bud, that's gonna be a terrible look. That's gonna be a horrible look.
Hey, and look at Midwest, brother. You're such a hater, brother. Why do you hate Al Heyman so much, man? Al, who's heavy? He be giving $10 million. Al, like, dude, if the fight is worth it, it's not about the guarantee is based on what it's the possibility. That is the reason why they was giving Anthony Johnson, quote unquote Anthony Johnson, the guy nobody knows. They was giving him $50 million from Wilder. Did he? You know what I mean?
Wait,
so
why is it better for boxing if Barrios wins though?
I don't think it's better for boxing.
I know why I want Barrios to win personally, but I'm trying to figure out why is it better for boxing as a whole.
Fresh
that's
blood,
what
I don't know.
That's what he wrote. I mean, Barrios ain't gonna last that long at 147 any fucking way. But but he just said it's better for boxing. I'm like, how? What does Barrios bring to fucking boxing that it doesn't have?
Well, the thing, Keith is tender to the body. Keith has been hurt. Keith is very tender to the body. People know that. I think Barrios will know that. Barrios has skills. You know what I mean? And I've made highlight reels of Barrios, and I respect his game. You know what I mean? So even regardless of what happened with the Tank, to me, Tank is a generational talent. So, you know, but regardless of that,
some people think he lost against Akhmedov. I don't, but some people claim that he lost against Akhmedov. I mean, did he look a little bit vulnerable toward the end? Sure, but I think he still won that fight.
It was a tough. Listen, Akhmedov, he was supposed to be the toughest 140, right? So if it was a tough fight and people think it was a close fight and they arguing whether he won or not, listen, he put the dude down. Okay, so he did what he had to do to get past a very tough opponent. There's no shame in that. That's why people have draws, because they're very tough fights. So people trying to shit on him because of dog fight, whatever the case may be, that doesn't. I don't get people who talk like that. They think every fight is supposed to be a wash. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be one-sided. I love competitive fights. I love that anxiety where my heart is beating out of my chest. I love going into it's like, oh my goodness, it's the last round. Who's going to win? Those are great fights. You know what I'm saying?
But when because that's also one of the reasons I was kind of I questioned the Terrence Crawford getting 10 mil off top. I'm not saying that he's not worth it, but I am too wondering when's the last time somebody at PBC got a 10 million guaranteed purse.
Well, the thing about it is, when was the last time that they had Errol Spence an undisputed fight?
So the answer to that question is they haven't done that before?
No, it's not that I haven't done it. I haven't done the math. I haven't even fathomed that thought in my mind. But Manny, I mean, there's been several people who's gotten over.
Hold on, y'all. Breaking news.
Well.
You know the boxer Victor Ortiz?
Yeah.
He said he wants to fight Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez, Danny Garcia, Terrence Crawford, and Errol Spence Jr., and he tagged all of them.
Of course he does. The fucking rent.
He's looking for a paycheck.
The rent dude, yeah. He needs to pay off his house.
If you look at this comment section,
that nigga still got a car note.
Oh my lord.
They cooking them.
There's no like, yeah, go get it. Everybody's like, bro, what the hell? Didn't you just lose to Robert Guerrero?
Yeah,
Yo,
bro. That nigga still got a car note.
yeah, that's about a paycheck, brother. He's trying to cash out using the name. I don't know. Maybe Bud will fight him. Maybe Bud will fight him, y'all. Maybe that's Bud's next fight.
Oh my god, if Bud fight fucking Victor Ortiz.
Vicious
Oh,
Victor.
nigga, you bet not. You bet not if you fight this nigga.
But my point about my point to just to close out about who about the value. Remember, Anthony Joshua was never gotten a 50 million guarantee before, but he got it. Versus Wilder. Wilder had never made that much money before, so it's not about who has he done. It's about what value does this fight bring. Now, Al Heyman knows that this will be the Super Bowl of boxing. He knows the sponsorship is going to be through the roof. He knows the site fee is going to be through the roof. He knows all the intangibles are going to be through the roof. He knows this. So therefore, a 10 million guarantee is a drop in the bucket compared to what this fight is actually going to do. So it's
I wouldn't be shocked if Errol Spence got that. I was saying I'm not sure if Crawford gonna get that.
well, even if they both got 10 million a guarantee and then it still splits 50, 60, 40 on the pay-per-view, Earl Spence ain't gonna complain about that because Earl Spence is not the one paying him. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when it comes to that, it's like, okay, well, if that's like when with Bob Arum, he was paying people more than Bud to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Who had to come over to the platform.
Yeah, go ahead, Crowd.
Go ahead.
Man, fuck that. Crawford better sign whatever piece of paper he's fucking giving. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if that shit got $2 on it. You better sign that motherfucker, man. You ain't got shit else to do. This is the most exposure you ever getting. You better sign this motherfucker. Like I said, sign the contract and start camp. I don't want to hear shit else. I don't want to hear about gloves, the stadium, the money. Sign the fucking contract and start camp.
In Midwest Boxing, why are you so negative? Giving them both 10 million will possibly make the fight lose money. Dude, why are you so negative? I don't get you negative Nancy's, brother. If the fight it has a value to it, you pay based on that value. You don't pay based on well, he's never made 10 million.
It's not negative Nancy. It's Negro naysayer.
Wait, let who get beat up by Boots? Let who get beat up by Boots? Who Boots beating up?
But again, no, but I don't give you. All right, brother, take it easy, man.
Peace.
But the 10 million